teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in Wisconsin, so there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit froedtert.com/cancer.
So if you're already in a relationship with an auto service center, that's great. We hope things keep firing on all cylinders.
But if you're not in a relationship, why not book your next date with us at Richlands the next time you're due for service?
All of our locations are AAA approved and staffed by ASC certified technicians with PhDs in
We can fix anything!
Put that on top of the friendliest, hardest working staff you'll ever meet inside a tire and service center,
and you've got yourself a rock-solid date.
the next time you're due for factory scheduled maintenance,
Or tires, brakes, and suspension service.
book your date at richlands.com.
Or just Google us. But remember, Richlands is spelled with 2 N's.
And oh yeah, be safe, buckle up, and hey,
Always make sure you have good tread on your tires. I'm Courtney Matchkey with Richlands, and you're due for a date.
clever.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Let's see if they can keep pace with us.
Has the ball taken away by Giannis, who swoops in. He's in the open floor and sends it down, throwing the mean mug on, going the other way. The Greek Freak unleashed.
The Bucks are in Indiana with coverage beginning tonight at 5:30 on your home of the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 9:02, it's sunny and 43 degrees, mostly sunny today, a high of 53. Cool overnight tonight and clear with a low of 35. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Adam Roberts. The defense in the Michael Mattioli trial beginning their case today.
The prosecution wrapping up on Wednesday. Criminal defense attorney Julius Kim tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News he thinks the prosecutors
did as good of a job as they could with the facts that they had in front of them.
Among their witnesses, the current Milwaukee County medical examiner, after many delays wrangling the former ME, Dr. Brian Peterson. Kim says the prosecution got all they needed from his successor.
The information that the state needed got into evidence, and it wasn't that big of a deal in the end.
Wyatt Parmar-Pooley, WTMJ News.
On Milwaukee's northwest side overnight,
3-year-old male patient, GSW to the left temple, right behind the left ear.
The audio from Broadcastify capturing the police response to a 3-year-old being shot in the head on the city's northwest side near 64th and Custer just after 9 p.m. That child battling life-threatening injuries this morning in the latest in a string of shootings in the city involving children. According to the Milwaukee Crime Dashboard, there have been more than 750 non-fatal shootings in the city this year. Serious accusations are being levied against the Milwaukee City Attorney's Office.
The Office of the Milwaukee Inspector General on Wednesday publishing a report alleging Deputy City Attorney Odalu Ohiku was receiving paychecks from the city while still working at his private law firm. The report also includes City Attorney Tierman Spencer with allegations Spencer certified the time Ohiku spent at his private firm as time worked for the city. The Inspector General recommends both attorneys be removed from their positions. The District Attorney's Office will decide if charges are necessary. Jack Grau, WTMJ News.
As the situation in Gaza gets worse for civilians caught up in the fighting between Hamas and Israel, talks reportedly happening behind the scenes to get aid in and some of the hostages taken by Hamas out. More from ABC's Ian Pannell.
This comes amid ongoing negotiations for the release of some of the 239 hostages taken during the October 7th massacre of more than 1,400 in Israel. A source in the Prime Minister's office telling ABC News Israel is considering a plan by Egypt and Qatar for a humanitarian pause in exchange for a hostage release. No deal so far, but a Hamas spokesperson saying they are open to a potential deal.
And closer to home, the longest actors strike in Hollywood history over, and the actors' union seems pretty happy with the deal.
It was a long, tough 118 days for many, especially the majority working-class members of SAG-AFTRA who are not millionaires. And the union's chief negotiator, Duncan Crabtree Ireland, tells ABC News it was all worth it because one of the things they held out for and got.
Better money, frankly, being paid to people who work in the streaming space, where the changes in the business model have just wreaked havoc on our members' livelihoods.
Production slowed when the writers went on strike in May, then shut down when actors joined them in July. Actors can go back to work as soon as today. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Mixed for the majors so far this morning. The Dow Jones down 41 points on the day to 3473. The S&P 500 has had a great winning streak, trying for their best in about 20 years, so far breaking even at 4,382. The NASDAQ is up 11 points this morning to 13,662. It's time for the Annex Wealth Management Tax Smart Planning Review. They'll review, assess, and provide strategies you can use. Go to annexwealth.com/taxsmart. Giannis ejected. We'll have more in sports, plus your traffic and weather coming up next. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 9:06.
You can find affordable holiday decor at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. Find cute Christmas decorations, ornaments, trees, and home decor, all at thrift store prices. Gift cards are also available for that shopper on your Christmas list. You'll never overspend on holiday items from St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
You work hard and play by the rules, but that's not what your monopoly utility wants to do. Utilities are spending millions lobbying lawmakers for a special deal that will increase rates even more, putting corporate profits over consumers. Hard-working Wisconsin taxpayers deserve better. Call your state legislator today. Tell them to vote no on Assembly Bill 470 and Senate Bill 481, paid for by the Electricity Transmission Competition Coalition.
Hi, John McGivern here. Did you know Network Health Medicare Advantage plans start at $0 a month? And you can get the extra benefits you need, like dental, vision, over-the-counter items, and more? I know because I'm a member myself. Call 833-7-NETWORK to learn more today. Network Health Medicare Advantage plans include PPO plans with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Network Health Medicare Advantage plans depends on contract renewal.
Attention value hunters, save on new Black Friday Now deals this week at Fleet Farm. Enjoy 20% off select sizes of our chocolate candies. Get a Food Saver vacuum sealing system for just $69.99. Stay warm and cozy with Mega Warmer 10-packs, 2 for $10. And stock up on softwood fuel pellets, 2 bags for only $11. Save big on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update.
Make it 3 wins in a row as Damian Lillard scored 34 points. Bobby Portis added 18. And the Milwaukee Bucks rally to beat the Detroit Pistons Wednesday night at Pfizer Forum by a final score of 120-118.
Lillard's into the front court. Drives on Duren. Puts up the floater. Rims around and drops. Damian Lillard delivers again. He's got 15 of their last 17 now.
With the win, Milwaukee now improving to 5-2 on their season, having winning 4 of their last 5 games. The Bucks will be right back to work tonight with a 6 p.m. tip-off at Indiana. To baseball, where the Los Angeles Angels have hired Ron Washington to become their next manager. Washington, who now becomes the oldest manager in baseball, signed a 2-year contract with the team. And lastly, to the NFL, where the Green Bay Packers hit the practice field for the first time on Wednesday afternoon for the week. The good news for the Pack, wide receiver Christian Watson and defensive lineman Kenny Clark practiced. However, the not-so-good news, Quay Walker, Jair Alexander, Yosh Nijman, and John Runyon all did not. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Taking a look at your roads, your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. Just one incident on the board right now. Got a broken-down semi-truck on 94 North just past Howard Avenue. It's right on the ramp going from the freeway to Howard, and it's right in that kind of triangular area between the freeway and the off-ramp, so just be mindful. Looks like it's trying to move around and get reoriented as you're heading on 94 North. Be aware of that right now. Also, a couple of slow spots on the system. 43 north and south through the construction zone will add a few extra minutes, either headed to downtown or towards Brown Deer Road. And it's a bit slow right now on 94 east. near the stadium interchange, stretching back to about, that looks like 68th Street, and that'll run through the stadium towards 35th. So you're tapping the brakes as you head from the zoo into downtown, adding just a couple of extra minutes to your drive.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, mostly sunny, breezy today, a high of 53. A lot of wind once again. Could see gusts around 35 miles per hour, continuing the trend we've seen all week. Clear and cool overnight. Those winds will make it feel even cooler than the low of 35. Mostly sunny and 46 for your high on Friday, 48 and sunny on Saturday. Partly sunny Sunday, a high of 52. Could be flirting again with 60 degrees on Monday. Mostly sunny and a high of 57 degrees for now. Right now in Madison, sunny and 41. Green Bay and Waukesha checking in at 40 degrees. And in Milwaukee, sunny skies and 43. I'm Adam Roberts, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 9/11.
Good morning, Wisconsin. It's WTMJ Now. News, opinions, Wisconsin. Everything you need to know in the Badger State and beyond. Come give us your thoughts on the Old National Bank talk and text line at 855-616-1620. Old National Bank. Get old. Here's your host, Steve Scafidi.
And good morning, everybody. Thursday. How about that? Thursday already. I had a short week. I was on vacation on Monday. So no complaints from this guy. I watched the debate last night. Did you watch the debate last night? I watched it. So you don't have to, really. Because one thing I know about debates now in this country, and one of them is a sad reality. One of them is a sad reality. If Donald Trump's not in it, nobody watches, which I haven't seen the numbers yet, but I'm guessing they'll be down from what most of us might be expecting. Third of who knows how many debates for Republican candidates for the nomination in the room last night. Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida. Nikki Haley, former ambassador, former governor. Tim Scott, senator. Chris Christie, former governor, New Jersey. And, of course, that Vivek Ramaswamy guy. Yeah, I said that on purpose. Who's just kind of the irritating gnats, no-see-em, pesty, spouting nonsense guy. Youngest guy running for a Republican nomination ever, apparently. 38 years old. I don't like anything about the guy. He's a disruptor. And again, we've had enough disruption. Let's get to the actual performance, policy. So I had some fun with my show poll today. You can find it on the X, formerly known as Twitter. And if you're not on Twitter, good job you. And if you're not, of course, on the X or any social media, you can always participate at the Old National Bank Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. So I said, let's have some fun with it today. So I could have asked you, who won last night? Was it Nikki Haley? That's my choice. Was it Ron DeSantis, Tim Scott, Chris Christie, Ramaswamy, one of those five, Donald Trump? So I said, all right, I'm going to do something different. So I asked you on my show poll, who do you think won the night? And I went the other way. Donald Trump, who wasn't there. He was my first answer on the poll. How about China, Russia, and Iran? They were mentioned a bunch of times. And specifically in how the candidates for the nomination would approach those difficult international relationships. The other TV networks who probably dominated last night, everybody but NBC. And I've already got almost 200 votes on the poll. So right now the leader is the other networks, which doesn't surprise me. Now, some people took it a different way and actually made it about who was there. Maybe tomorrow, Nikki. Jim says me by not watching. Todd says waste of time. Nikki Haley's the only one that is worth considering. Nikki Haley from Beverly. Rob DeSantis, a close second. Ron DeSantis, Beverly, but thank you. Best of three debates. At least we could hear their voices or their views without talking over each other. Yes, because there's less people. Next time, if there's more than two people up there, the two people obviously being Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley, you're wasting our time. They're the only viable options to life after Trump. Tim, however, says Vivek Ramaswamy. Drain the swamp. Tom says Nikki. Nikki Haley. Michael says Nikki. A lot of people with the Nikki Haley love. This is something that I think Republicans need to look at. She is clearly an alternative. Now, the big question, of course, is does any of this matter? Does Donald Trump have this wrapped up? And all signs at this moment point to the fact that he does. So I wanted to give you a sense, an audio sense of what happened last night. So producer Charlie put this all together. A little quick kind of wrap up, some of the voices we heard last night, some of the comments they made. So you didn't have to invest the 2 hours of your life that you'll never get back in listening to this.
Why should you and not him be the Republican nominee to face Joe Biden a year from now? Now, if you look where we are now, it's a lot different than we were in 2016. And Donald Trump's a lot different guy than he was in 2016. He owes it to you to be on this stage and explain why he should get another chance. He said Republicans were going to get tired of winning. Well, we saw last night, I'm sick of Republicans losing.
You know, everybody wants to talk about President Trump. Well, I can talk about President Trump. I can tell you that I think he was the right president at the right time. I don't think he's the right president now.
We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. It was a cancer in the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party.
And what is Biden doing? Not only is he not helping the Jewish students who are being persecuted, he is launching an initiative to combat so-called Islamophobia. No, it's the anti-Semitism that's spiraling out of control.
Right. Ukraine is not a paragon of democracy. In the last debate, she made fun of me for actually joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice.
Your adult daughter. The next generation of Americans are using it.
As much as I'm pro-life, I don't judge anyone for being pro-choice, and I don't want them to judge me for being pro-life. So when we're looking at this, there are some states that are going more on the pro-life side. I welcome that. There are some states that are going more on the pro-choice side. I wish that wasn't the case, but the people decided.
A flavor, the voices you heard last night, 2 hours. Give you my quick debates recap. There should never be live audiences. They should be at the most an hour and a half. You should have one moderator. And if you're not going to have the leading candidate for Republicans in the room, why in the hell would you have a debate? Because otherwise you're the kids sitting at the kids' table on Thanksgiving. That's all it was. Nothing was accomplished. They talked a lot of nonsense, some policy. And once again, my opinion, you can disagree, and you can certainly do that in the old National Bank Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. Who do you think actually won last night? My answer? Probably Donald Trump. What do you think after this?
More of WTMJ now after this. Your weekly Bucks breakdown is back.
They want to win equally as bad as I do.
Bucks Weekly on WTMJ.
Now he joins a team where you have, as he has put it, the best player in the league.
And a new year brings new faces.
You'll see that I've gotten better year after year after year after year.
Get the latest news, analysis, and insight on your Milwaukee Bucks all season long. Bucks Weekly with Justin Garcia every Monday night at 8 on WTMJ. And catch the podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi. For Annex Wealth Management, when it comes to your investment and retirement plan, this is not a time to set it and forget it. This is a time to be nimble. It's time for Annex Wealth Management. Know where you are and where you can go based on working with Annex. Retirement investment planning, tax planning, estate planning, that's what Annex does. If you're already retired, how about a second look at your current plan? Same thing with do-it-yourselfers. Annex can help you get across the finish line. The Annex Financial Planning Team takes everything into account and charts a path forward, including the Annex Tax Smart Planning Strategy Review. It's a great chance to know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. It's not hard. Doesn't have to be. Go to annexwealth.com, click the now famous Get Started button. I did it. You should too. Every day, people just like you visiting one of their 8 branches or meeting via Zoom. I've done it both ways. They work fantastic. Know the difference. Start at annexwealth.com.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
WTMJ Now.
Big debate last night in Miami. I said it before, I'll say it again. This process is really just a exercise in futility. You have the leading candidate, Donald Trump, who apparently hosted a different event. I didn't watch any of that because they're all the same, really. Airing of grievances, take back America, make America great again. Endless slogan reciting, endless applause by his loyal fans. But the harsh reality is for Republicans, unless you're willing to do something about that in the polling places or on your ballots, none of this is going to matter. We'll be looking at Joe Biden, Donald Trump one more time. And I think if you have that understanding, you should ask yourself, why would I watch that debates? What am I going to learn about the candidates? And the sort of the missing piece of that was you have 5 people: Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, Chris Christie, and Vivek Ramaswamy, who basically are trying to compete with someone who's not there. And they had an opportunity, because they threw him a couple softball questions about things that were sort of related to Donald Trump in that 2-hour broadcast. And they continually ignore the elephants in the room, which is Donald Trump. So you should ask yourself, how brave are these people? And look, and I've said over and over again, I'm a Nikki Haley supporter. But the answer to my question is they're not very brave. Because they are not challenging the person who, frankly, at this moment, seems to be the obvious choice for Republicans. Now, I would argue, and I have, that's misguided and probably be a waste of energy and your votes, because he's probably not going to beat whoever Democrats put up there. Unless, I'm going to get to this with my guest at 10:45 today, Charles Franklin from the MU Law School poll, who points out in his polling that Nikki Haley, head-to-head against Joe Biden, has a 9-point lead right now. Now, polls are not votes. I often have to remind people, because even in the run-up to Tuesday's election, the numbers for Democrats were a little more positive than some of the polling would have suggested. So, always with a grain of salt. But we'll ask Charles Franklin about some of those questions a little bit later. And some of the other things we're doing today. I kind of always look forward to this interview, because, if we're doing it, we have something fun coming from one of our partners, Omaha Steaks. Love working with them. The CEO, the big guy, I don't think he likes the term CEO, but we'll get his official title. He's going to join me about 10:30 talking about their latest promotion and their company, which is fantastic. So we'll mix in a little partner love as well. And, of course, that's what Steve said, another partner, Mind Chef Restaurant, $30 gift card. That's coming up at 11:08. 5 questions that could conceivably change your life if winning a contest on WTMJ is the qualifier to make that happen for you. Some commentary on the Old National Bank talk and text line. And we wonder why we are where we are. People should have listened to the debate for no other reason than to get a better sense of how candidates handle themselves and perhaps learn something. Ramaswamy is proof that schools are not teaching young people history. There seemed to be some fascination with Vivek. Maybe it's because he's young. Maybe his story as a CEO is interesting to some people. But when I look at that story and I see his conduct, he's a classic example of the sort of hyper-aggressive, in-your-face style of communication that is frankly too prevalent now, whether that's radio, whether that's TV, whether that's in everyday life, school board meetings, this sort of aggressive, I know everything, you know nothing, listen to me, shut up, that kind of stuff. He's that guy. And I have friends and family who like him as a candidate. And sure, his youth will be appealing to some people because, frankly, Republicans, old white guy Republicans, they can't even embrace Nikki Haley. What are they going to do with a very young alternative candidate like Vivek Ramaswamy? From the 414, I think a Haley Christie ticket is interesting and electable. They seemed on the same page on a few issues. I hope the GOP wakes up and does what's best for the people. Unfortunately, highly doubtful. I agree. They could do the right thing, but they probably won't. And you can blame it on Ronna McDaniel. You can blame it on, I'd spent some of my show yesterday doing this, some of the old, tired voices from Republican circles, the experts. If you're on the stream, I'm air quoting experts because they're not really experts. Just because you've done a job does not make you an expert in that job. An expert uses critical analysis. An expert doesn't parrot talking points. An expert actually understands there are alternative viewpoints and other ways of looking at critical issues in our country. And if you don't do that, you get what we have now, which is malaise, lack of work products, government shutdown threats, continuing resolution after continuing resolution. From the 262, Steve, I don't watch the debates because they aren't really debates anymore. They're basically chances to get a quick quote in, and they all lie anyway. Yeah, pretty much. I said this last night on social media. I think I did anyway. If I hear one more time, on day one, I'm going to create 4 million jobs. On day one, you know what what any of these people on this stage are going to be doing on day one? Bending over for all the mega rich campaign donors who allowed them to get in that position in the first place. Let's not confuse it. Because that's where their allegiances lie. Not with you and I, the individual voters. With the billionaires who put these people in office. That's their day one. All right, we'll take a break here. Still time to get in. We're going to shift gears in a little bit. I cannot believe that news organizations essentially have hired or are hiring terrorists as a person who delivers the news. I thought it was a fake story. I thought it was fake news, but it's not. We'll get to that one in about 5 minutes or so. Lots to talk about today. Join us in the conversation. You're listening, of course, to WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this. Every day, it seems like there's always something new going on in the world of politics. Join WTMJ Now for the Political Power Hour. Bill McCoshen.
The first lesson I learned when I worked for Governor Thompson is never give away power.
And Joe Zepecki.
I'm often accused of being the Eeyore on this panel, so let's try to find a silver lining.
Will help make sense of today's political headlines.
He's the guy that sits in the front of the class and always has an answer for something, and you're like, sit down and shut up.
I thought you were that guy.
No.
It's the Political Power Hour on WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you own a company, you know how valuable your loyal employees are. Show your gratitude with a company holiday party at the Amazing Mine Chef restaurant in Hartford. The party rooms are free and the world-class game room adds a ton of fun. Your holiday party doesn't have to be expensive. The Mine Chef will create a party to fit your budget. And if you own a smaller company, the Mine Chef is perfect for you. Book today for the best days and times. It's affordable. It's theminesefrestaurant.com. Check it out. And Thanksgiving is almost here. Just think how long it takes to prep, cook, and clean for your Thanksgiving dinner. Don't cook. Relax with your family and enjoy the Thanksgiving Day buffet at the Mine Shaft. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Shaft with everything you love for Thanksgiving. All you can eat, just $21.99. Kids and grandkids under 3 always eat for free. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and also off the interstate in Oshkosh. Tons of seating. Close parking. Reserve today. MineshaftRestaurant.com.
At Semper Fi, we wholeheartedly believe that our reputation is everything. And around the office and work sites, I like to say that our reputation is like the little campfire we all huddle around for life. And every time we produce a project, we all have to take a little piece of that fire, and it's our responsibility to keep it going. Every time we keep a promise, it fuels the fire. Every time we deliver on an expectation, it fuels the fire. We started out as a mom and pop roofing shop, and the reputation we've built and our commitment to it has made us into the company we are today. I've found that people really value a company that truly cares about their reputation, and I know that it attracts the kind of like-minded individuals that we're proud to have on our team. At Semper Fi, we work hard not to tarnish our reputation, and that's what will make your decision to work with us one you won't regret. We're Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, and you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
WTMJ Now.
Lots of folks weighing in on the Old National Bank talking text line, agreeing with me that perhaps Trump was the winner last night. He wasn't even there. That's an interesting strategy that is employed. Now, I said this yesterday, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of this. One of the reasons that he's not there, other than his cowardice, is that he hasn't signed the pledge. What's the pledge? That's the pledge where, at least the 5 candidates last night, will support the candidate from the Republican Party who ultimately earns the nomination. Trump hasn't done that. See, he does his own things. He doesn't listen to anybody else. Gail from Wauwatosa, I don't mean it to be a hope destroyer, Gail. You're not giving us much hope for this next election in the way everything connected to elections is done these days. Sounds like everything is lies, corruption, crazy candidates, and the end is all about money. What is an American to do? Pick better choices. Now, you know what I think about these candidates. I've kind of laid out where I fall on all of them over the last several months. Just some overriding things to look at. Ultimately, Donald Trump as a candidate is going to have to figure out the Donald Trump as a defendant problem. And even though a lot of Trump supporters like to downplay that, there's a reality there that's painful for Donald Trump. One, how much time can you spend campaigning when you're in courtrooms? Two, if you're convicted, you could be a felon. And as much as I seem to have less faith in the voters than I used to, I would hope, that if someone is a convicted felon, that you would seriously consider not voting for that person. Otherwise, throw the rules out. What are we doing here? Someone kills somebody at some point, they're going to be a candidate? Somebody kills somebody in office, skates on the charge, skates on a trial that doesn't find them guilty, and they're going to be president, even though everybody saw the person shoot the other person? What are we doing here? So there's a reality we have to face with candidates. What are they about? I don't hide behind my support of Nikki Haley, but that could also change because part of me suggests in this opening half hour that none of this may matter. It may not be Nikki Haley. It may be Donald Trump. And when you're thinking about these scenarios, a lot can change between now, debates, polling, and when votes are actually cast, because that's a state-by-state question. And as we saw, and we'll hear from Charles Franklin later in the show, state by state, the numbers look much different for Donald Trump and the other candidates, and certainly for Joe Biden. A couple quick texts before we go to break. Yes, I agree. This is from James. Yes, I agree. We can and should pick better candidates, but look at my choices. What's to pick from when others determine a list? It's a fair point, James. It's a fair point. But I would argue that Nikki Haley is a good, decent, honest choice. I would argue Chris Christie's also that. And maybe even Tim Scott's. And Ron DeSantis is a governor of the state of Florida, but to me he seems like Trump lights. But he's a popular governor of a very populous state. And because of that, he has significance. And the interesting metric will now be, after this debate, leading up to the next few months, who emerges as the principal challenger to Donald Trump. I think it's going to be Nikki Haley. I've heard that the potential, at least for crossover votes for Nikki Haley in a potential general election from, and I had some on the show yesterday, callers who said, you know what, I'm a Democrat, I would support Nikki Haley. That's a powerful thing. MC from South Milwaukee, a felon can't vote and a felon can't have a gun. Unreal. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, isn't it unreal that that's a consideration? From the 847, thanks for the long distance listen. Trump definitely won last night. He'll keep winning at the party's expense until the Republican base is no longer brainwashed by him. Let's see. Steve, can you explain how somebody inflates the price of real estate? Nobody's complaining, including the banks. Everybody got paid, but he's dragged into court. That's how I understand it. The Trump trials, that's going to happen. I'm not a legal expert. I'm not an attorney. Ultimately, if he's one of these rich guys, he should be able to hire lawyers that can get him off of a, for lack of a better phrase, a trumped-up charge. If he can't, well, then shame on him. Andrew from Waukesha joins the conversation. First phone call of the day. Hey, Andrew. Andrew?
The point. I did not watch the debates because there's one front runner. Donald Trump is doing better than he was doing in the 2016 race. So I see no reason to start supporting other candidates. Here's the other thing. You voiced your support for Nikki Haley. Okay. You asked the question, what are we going to do? Start electing somebody who's killed people? Well, I've got a news flash. We're hiring an commander-in-chief. Commander-in-chief, as the head of the armed forces, kills people. And Nikki Haley has advocated for war. So do you support her positions of going to war and killing people?
Well, if that's your qualifier, nearly every political candidate in the history of our country would be the killer of people. I mean, wars are painful, wars are necessary, and sometimes people die in the act of war, and that's a consequence of war. Do I indict every president who has gotten us involved in military conflict? Absolutely not, because some of them are worthwhile. That's the qualifier. And if you're a Trump supporter, just say you're a Trump supporter. I have zero problem with that. I will tell you why I don't think he's a great choice, but I also say over and over and over again on this show, you make your own choice. I don't tell you who to vote for. I tell you who I consider to be my choice at the moment, and that can change. A lot can change in a year. Donald Trump, right now, as a caller correctly said, is a leading candidate. That's the reality. That's my understanding of the current situation. Doesn't mean it's going to be that way in 9 months or 12 months. Things change. Joe Biden, his candidacy leading up to 2020 was on the ropes. And then some well-meaning electeds got together in some states that mattered and said, you know what, we need Joe Biden to be the candidate. And that was the end of it, really. Because I remember sitting here with Bill McCoshen and Joe Zepecki, and Zepecki was saying, I think Biden's toast. Yet here we are. He's in his fourth year now of his presidency. We'll take a break. Bill from Racine is up next. Lots of texts, as you can imagine. I'll get to that other story at some point. It's an interesting look at journalism 2023 and hopefully not journalism 2024. The use of enemy combatants as journalists. That seems like what happened to at least CNN and AP. We'll discuss that story, and we'll continue this conversation after this on WTMJ.
More of WTMJ now after this.
Attention value hunters, save on new Black Friday Now deals this week at Fleet Farm. Enjoy 20% off select sizes of our chocolate candies. Get a Food Saver vacuum sealing system for just $69.99. Stay warm and cozy with Mega Warmer 10-packs, 2 for $10. And stock up on softwood fuel pellets, 2 bags for only $11. Save big on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
So I came to Advent because I was experiencing recurrent sinus infections. As a new mom, it was really kind of difficult.
Many of our patients complain of sinus infections. The headaches, fatigue, and nasal stuffiness have a profound effect on their lives.
I just felt like your sickness starts affecting your energy level and, the things that you really enjoy doing. That really was a breaking point for me.
So Molly came to Advent. Abnormally tight sinuses and swollen turbinates led to simple breathing triangle solutions that ended up taking about 20 minutes in office. And very soon thereafter, she was breathing freely.
I'm just in awe at the amount of air that that I'm able to breathe in and out each night, and I haven't had a sinus infection since the procedure.
I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. When you breathe well, you do live better.
Results may vary.
Green Day present the Saviors Tour. Live in Milwaukee. Welcome to American Family Field. Saturday, August 24th. Celebrating 30 years of Dookie and 20 years of American Idiot. Green Day with the Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Linda Lindas. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Green Day, the Saviors Tour, fueled by Monster Energy.
It's WTMJ Now.
Oh, the texts are coming in. I knew they would. We had some phone line issues, so I apologize if you're calling and we didn't answer your phone call, but we have rectified that. Matter of fact, let's go right to the phone lines. Bill calling from Racine County. Hey, Bill. Welcome to the show.
Yes, Racine County, not Racine.
All right.
Racine County.
I got it.
Yes. Ex-Navy, 6.5 years, retired teacher, and now I'm a full-time farmer.
Thank you for all that. Wow, you are a busy man.
Well, I try to stay busy. Keeps you young.
Yes, it does.
That's where we're at. I saw the debates. I sat myself down and concentrated, and all the way from the bitter end, even the commentaries at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Haley carried the night. She walks, she talks, she presents herself like a president.
I agree. And people, obviously I'm biased because I supported her as a write-in candidate last time. I think she carries herself exactly like you just said, as somebody you could see in that Oval Office, see giving those important speeches, see leading a country, still the leader of the free world. I agree with that. Now, you also made a comment to producer Charlie about a potential vice president. Who's that choice? Tim
Scott would be a great backup man.
Interesting
doubt
choice. Yeah, a senator, obviously somebody who is has a much higher profile than he used to. Very, very good on policy if you're a Republican. So I like your choices, Bill. Keep up the great work as a farmer. I'm actually going to visit some friends on a farm next week in Wisconsin. I'm actually going to try to record some audio and bring it back to the show because I have a lot of respect for those folks who do that hard work. Steve, this is from the 262. You are into country club establishment candidates. I wouldn't say that's true. I'm into real candidates, not like reality TV stars. My fear is, now that that door has been opened, that we're going to get a lot of these kinds of candidates who say bombastic things, don't have a lot of pedigree in the sort of foundational elements of being an elected leader, let alone the president of the United States. That's my fear. Now, if you've done the job as a governor or a senator, other elected official positions, then I think you at least have some credibility as someone who could take it to the next level. The popularity of Donald Trump, in my opinion, was a once in a lifetime. He ran against a very, very unpopular candidate in Hillary Clinton, who I would never want to see as president. And I know a lot of women in this country like her, but I also know a lot of women who don't like her. And I thought she was a very easy target for Donald Trump, and he took advantage of it, and he won the race in 2016. Bob joins from Waukesha. Hey, Bob, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Steve. This is the Bob from Waukesha.
I know. The real Bob.
Okay. I just wanted to let you know.
Right.
I did, Steve. I told your producer I did not watch the debates, but I'm absolutely astonished that Donald Trump hosted a rally in Hialeah, Florida, and I'm from that area, and I know that it's almost 100%, the population of Hialeah is almost 100% Cuban American.
Right.
Now, I am not anti-Cuban. As a matter of fact, my maternal grandparents migrated here from Cuba, so I've got Cuban blood running through my veins. But apparently they think Donald Trump is the second coming, not unlike law enforcement, and not unlike the evangelical Christians. I am absolutely astonished because I can tell you if Fidel Castro was still alive, in light of the fact that Donald embraces all these Putins and Ungs, and he would be reaching out to Fidel Castro.
Those are great points, Bob, and I always appreciate your sentiments. I think he's right on that. He has wisely, even though it hurts my soul to say it, understood that he's tapping into a potential market of votes with a group of people, in this case Cuban Americans, who are dissatisfied with the status quo. If there's one trait that Donald Trump has that earns him a lot of votes, he's good at that. Taking the discontent, taking the anger, and making that a sellable feature of his campaign. And he doesn't have any limits. He'll go all the way to Nazis and QAnon folks if he needs to. And to me, that's a danger. From the 608s, Steve, I know Hillary is unfavorable to many, but please watch her 8-minute segment about the Middle East from the View yesterday. Great perspective, surprisingly. I did watch it. I watched it this morning. See, I'm not one of those people. I can have a negative opinion about someone or things they say, but I also can be nuanced in what I say and feel about someone. I thought she was on point. And that speaks a little bit to what I'm talking about. I don't like her as a candidate, but she does have a depth of knowledge as a former Secretary of State about the Middle East, that region, and who the players are. And that understanding, that experience is important. Doesn't mean I love Hillary Clinton. I don't. But I also respect someone who has done the work, done the job. And I encourage you, look, I've said my thoughts on The View. It's a waste of oxygen. But for those 8 minutes yesterday, you want to get a pretty good sense of what's happening on the ground in the Middle East and where it came from, going all the way back to Anwar Sadat. A history lesson from Hillary Clinton. I agree with the texter. There's some content there that will help fill in some of your gaps and give you a better understanding in your gray matter on what this means for our world. There are many fascinating stories coming out of the Middle East. What the future holds, one, nobody knows. And if they do, they say that, they don't. And two, how in the world can countries like the United States, China, Iran, North Korea, and others be involved yet stay out of the fray? That's a hard one to answer. And that's something we're going to have to reconcile as we go forward. And last thing on the debates, when I saw and heard last night the attack on Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine by Vivek Ramaswamy, I was embarrassed. He called him a Nazi. And look, I get the appeal of muckrakers and people who say things to get attention. He's the definition, the living definition of that in a 38-year-old body. I get all that. But at some point, you should be ashamed of yourself. But he wasn't done. He also decided to drag Nikki Haley's daughter into a conversation about TikTok. And I've said this before. I'm not a fan of TikTok. I think it is dangerous. It has serious concerns about data security. And yet we are somehow handing over our country and our children and too many adults to this silly platform, which, frankly, I have no use for and I will not join. We'll take a break here. Lots more show coming up. Good stuff. Thanks for joining the conversation. That's always available to you, 855-616-1620. And I haven't done this in a while. If you have an email for me, because I just read a nice long email that someone sent me during the last break, Steve.Scafidi, 2Fs1D at WTMJ.com. Anything on your mind, potential topics, always welcome to that. We'll take a break here. You're listening to WTMJ Now.
WTMJ Now.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. and by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in Wisconsin. So there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit froedtert.com/cancer.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Do you hear that hissing sound? I think it's the sound of some steam being let out of the fall housing market. As the average 30-year fixed rate has crept toward 8%, some buyers have taken a break. Homes aren't selling on the first weekend anymore. Some are still selling over asking, but fewer and by not as much. Some sellers are even willing to chip in toward buyer closing costs to get their asking price. Now, do you hear that knocking sound? That's opportunity. Opportunity for well-prepared home shoppers. This dip in home buyer demand is not going to last, and mortgage rates are forecast to dip next year. Here's the best part. AccuNet can show you how to use a seller closing cost credit to lower your monthly payment by $100 or maybe even $200 a month for the first year or two while we wait for the refi window of opportunity to open, which we can typically accomplish with no loan costs. It's your choice, fear or opportunity. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and become a confident, opportunistic, rock-solid home shopper. That's ACCUNET.com.
Staples stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store.
Your Salvation Army donation feeds the hungry. Share your hope today at samilwaukee.org.
See all those plans on your calendar?
Yeah.
The appointments, the dinner dates? What about them? Cancel them.
What?
You heard me. Cancel everything.
Why?
Because once you relax on the Miles sectional sofa from Penny Mustard, you'll never want to leave your house ever again.
That's a pretty bold claim.
I'm serious. Once you're completely ensconced in the Miles sectional sofa, the outside world will cease to exist.
Okay.
This is your new home. You and the sofa become one.
Sounds kind of nice.
Sounds kind of weird.
You'll relax here. You'll sleep here. You'll eat here, build blanket forts here, and even vacation here.
The Miles sofa is crazy comfortable.
This isn't just another piece of fancy furniture. This is your emotional support sofa.
The Miles sectional sofa, American made with ultra-high-density foam and hundreds of fabric options.
Including kid and pet-friendly fabrics.
Starting at $90.28 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
It's WTMJ now.
All right, I'm doing it early today. I have 2 tickets to see the incredible Green Day new album coming out, Saviors. They're going to be joined by other great artists like Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, the Linda Lindas concert, August 24th next summer. At American Family Field, and we're giving away a pair of tickets all this week. So you'll have one more chance to win tomorrow. So let's go with caller number 8 to 855-616-1620. Caller number 8 to 855-616-1620. A pair of tickets to see the fabulous Green Day at the American Family Field next summer. So one more chance to win. Look at those phone lines light up. Everybody loves that giveaway. We try to do it different times every day just to mix it up a little bit. I went early today. Surprised you, perhaps. All right. Mike wants to weigh in on our conversation about the debate last night. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Good morning, Steve. Another beautiful day in Northern Illinois.
Another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Hopefully we get a string of beautiful days to get us going into November.
We are going to get like 5 days in a row.
There we go. That's the attitude.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
So, full disclosure, I did not watch the debate.
What?
I listened to it a little bit and certainly I didn't have time, Steve. Sorry.
It's all right. I watched so you didn't have to.
Unfortunate, but you're right, because with Trump not being there, it does take something away. However, I did want to hear the highlights, and I did. And I think what that other caller said, that Nikki Haley handled herself so well, including the little comment that Swarmy made, which I thought she handled well. And his comment was somewhat Trump-esque and certainly uncalled for.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Mike. Look, it's never appropriate to drag someone's family into one of these debates. And it to me, it speaks to desperation. This is a guy, he's a sort of an obnoxious CEO type, bit of a bully maybe, who sees an opportunity to get himself known. I don't know how he's getting the hitting the qualifiers for the RNC. Someone might want to ask Ronna McDaniel to toughen it up a little bit. And I'll say this to kind of close this hour of conversation about debate last night. Look, am I saying you shouldn't watch debates? If you have the time and you're interested in politics and you don't know what you're going to do when it comes to the vote, watch the debates. We're not that busy that we're inundated with other things we have to do, for the most part, with some exceptions. But at least pay attention to the headlines. And at least look at the conduct and character of the people that you may vote for. I know that there's a lot of people slinging this new talking points. I don't care what Trump does. I like his policies. That's just a Republican talking point. It's silly, but it's working for a lot of voters. But I think character does matter. And somebody threw out the charge that Nikki Haley was a killer, but because she calls for a strong military and a desire to use that military in the defense of freedom around the world. I'm supportive of that. I'm under no illusion that people aren't killed in wars. That's been the case since people started fighting wars, and it probably will not change anytime soon. That's a reality that we have to understand. But character matters. And I think character, this is the optimistic side of me, character will matter a lot in the final decision on who's going to be president come January of 2025. All right, lots more show. 2 more hours to go before we hand it off to Tracy Wagner, who's filling in for Jeff. I'm just getting warmed up. Hopefully you are too. News is next.
More of WTMJ Now after this. Missing the playoffs in 92, some thought it was the... Then in 97.
Packers are going to enjoy the fruit and the Lombardi Trophy.
And in 2011.
The Lombardi Trophy is coming home.
Now with a new soundtrack to the season. It's officially the season of love. Catch Green Bay Game Day, pre- and post-game, all season long, right here on WTMJ.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
If Hasselus Mattress doesn't have employees, how do customers buy mattresses?
Easy. Once you've tested every Sealy Posturepedic, Beautyrest, or Serta Perfect Sleeper at your leisure, just order by phone, online, or at our in-store kiosk.
Also, why do people say they slept like a baby when babies are known for not sleeping well?
Well, I don't know about babies, but you will sleep better having paid way less. Our 43 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393. And for shopping local, through Monday, you'll also get an additional $200 credit towards your new Serta Perfect Sleeper, Beautyrest, or Sealy Posturepedic mattress, and free next day delivery.
Fantastic. I have more.
Shoot.
If something is described as indescribable, hasn't it been described?
If revenge is a dish best served cold, and revenge is also sweet, is revenge ice cream?
You just blew my mind.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Annex Wealth Management. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary. Forget commission sales pitches and financial products you don't need. Know the difference. Annex provides elite, comprehensive financial planning customized to who you are and what you need. AnnexWealth.com.
The following takes place in the home of a Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric customer.
This furnace is in bad shape, Jason. It's okay. That's what a beyondification is for. Merle, hand me that wrench. Yep, we're going to recalibrate it back to like new condition. I'm working on the deep clean right now. Okay, Merle, jump on a comprehensive safety check.
How's that beyondification coming, guys?
Going well, Laura. We'll have Miss Taylor's furnace purring away at maximum efficiency in no time. Saving her money on energy bills every month. And extending the life of her furnace. That'll save her even more money. Way beyond a standard tune-up. And it's the best thing you can do to prepare your home. Because winter is coming.
Okay, guys, we have another beyondification right down the street when you're done.
Roger that. Merle, hand me the drill.
Call Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric today to schedule your furnace beyondification or schedule online at callcapitalcares.com.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
You just can't pass on Less is Glass. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Let's see if they can keep pace with us.
Has the ball taken away by Giannis, who swoops in. He's in the open floor and sends it down, throwing the mean mug on, going the other way. The Greek Freak unleashed.
The Bucks are in Indiana with coverage beginning tonight at 5:30 on your home of the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 10:01, it's 47 degrees. We'll warm up to 53 today under sunny skies. Overnight, a low dropping to 35. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Adam Roberts. Happening right now in Milwaukee, day 4 of the Michael Mattioli trial, and the defense has prepared their case as the court reconvenes. Right now, defense attorneys for Michael Mattioli, Michael Hart, and Craig Powell calling their next round of witnesses. Currently talking with a pulmonologist, Dr. James Pearl, on the stand. We'll have plenty more on the coverage of the court case throughout the day on WTMJ. A 3-year-old in still life-threatening condition this morning after being shot in the head overnight near 64th and Custer on Milwaukee's northwest side. The latest in a string of shootings involving children in the city this week. TMJ4's Sydney Orr.
3-year-old male patient, GSW to the left temple, right behind the left ear.
It's been a tough week here in Milwaukee. That child is just one of 3 other young victims who were shot since Tuesday. The child was taken to the hospital after police say they responded to a home near 64th and Custer just after 9 o'clock. And we're told that 3-year-old child has life-threatening injuries, and police are seeking both a known and an unknown suspect. This shooting comes after a 12-year-old and a 15-year-old were also shot Tuesday night in separate incidents about 30 minutes apart.
According to the Milwaukee Crime Dashboard, there have been more than 750 non-fatal shootings in the city this year. President Biden releasing a statement praising an agreement ending the actors' strike.
The president says the tentative deal between the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers and the SAG-AFTRA union shows collective bargaining works. Mr. Biden goes on to say that when both sides come to the table to negotiate in earnest, they can make businesses stronger and benefit workers and their families at the same time. The president adds while union members will have the final say on the contract, they and all workers deserve a fair share of the value, he says, that they helped create. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
And that agreement will be brought up for final review tomorrow. And the nation's long streak of population growth in danger of coming to an end.
America's population will stop growing by 2080 and shrink by 2100. That's according to new projections from the U.S. Census Bureau. It's based partly on the fact that birth rates are declining, while death rates are increasing because of an aging population. That's making the country more reliant on immigration for growth. The only time the U.S. has recorded a population decline was in 1918 because of a flu pandemic. pandemic and the overseas deployment of more than 1 million troops. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Still mixed on the day for the majors. The Dow Jones down 36 points this morning to 34,076. S&P 500 trying to continue their big gains this week. They're now down a couple points to 4,381, and the Nasdaq is up on the day about 8 points to 13,658. Ready for investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary? Go to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button now. Got to check on your sports, traffic, and weather coming up in just a moment. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 10:04.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you want to upgrade and transform your current bathroom space, I've got you covered. It's Sidex. Sidex just did the work in our house, took out the old bathtub, put in a beautiful walk-in shower. It is stunning. The process streamlined and efficient. Sidex is the company I trust. Sidex is the company doing the work in our bathroom, in our house. My wife is so happy. They have changed our bathroom space. It's incredible. Joe, living the legacy of his dad, Sanford. It's incredible. They're family-owned since 1988. Free shower door upgrade when you mention John Mercure. Sidex. Check out the guys I trust at Sidex.
You work hard and play by the rules, but that's not what your monopoly utility wants to do. Utilities are spending millions lobbying lawmakers for a special deal that will increase rates even more, putting corporate profits over consumers. Hard-working Wisconsin taxpayers deserve better. Call your state legislator today. Tell them to vote no on Assembly Bill 470 and Senate Bill 481, paid for by the Electricity Transmission Competition Coalition.
The all-new Potawatomi Casino Hotel has something you gotta see. Play more slots and games, and you could say, "Show me the money," to reveal up to 10 grand each Thursday. 800,000 in prizes is up for grabs. 40 winners each week. This October and November at Potawatomi, Milwaukee. When you're ready to win, just say, "Show me the money." More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Everywhere you look, from groceries to utilities to gas, prices keep going up. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round by replacing drafty windows and doors in as little as 6 weeks. And now you can save even more by taking advantage of no interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 11/30/2023.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update.
Make it 3 wins in a row as Damian Lillard scored 34 points. Bobby Portis added 18, and the Milwaukee Bucks rallied to beat the Detroit Pistons Wednesday night at Pfizer Forum by a final score of 120-118.
Lillard's into the front court, drives on Duren, puts up the floater, rims around and drops. Damian Lillard delivers again. He's got 15 of their last 17 now.
With the win, Milwaukee now improving to 5-2 on their season, having winning 4 of their last 5 games. The Bucks will be right back to work tonight with a 6 p.m. tip-off at Indiana. To baseball, where the Los Angeles Angels have hired Ron Washington to become their next manager. Washington, who now becomes the oldest manager in baseball, signed a 2-year contract with the team. And lastly, to the NFL, where the Green Bay Packers hit the practice field for the first time on Wednesday afternoon for the week. The good news for the Pack, wide receiver Christian Watson and defensive lineman Kenny Clark practiced. However, the not-so-good news, Quay Walker, Jair Alexander, Yosh Nijman, and John Runyon all did not. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Taking a look at your roads, your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic got an incident up on the boards in Waukesha County. The exit to Highway 16 from 94 westbound. Looks like there's a crash that they were cleaning up starting around 9:30. Now it's been about a half hour, and the latest cameras from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation indicate a few cones up. Doesn't look like there's any blockage right now, though. If you are heading on 94 west, you may see some work being done to clear that crash up still, so be mindful as you head towards Highway 16. The rest of the system largely incident-free, still a bit slow on 94 East near the stadium interchange from about Holly Road to 35th Street. You'll be tapping the brakes, and that's adding a few extra minutes on your drive from the zoo into downtown Milwaukee. And of course, still a bit slow through the construction zone on 43 south from Brown Deer to downtown. That's a 15-minute drive.
Traffic is sponsored by Built Right Furniture, Leather and Mattresses.
For affordable, better quality furniture and mattresses, you've got to get to Built Right today. Built Right Furniture saves you money. 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, mostly sunny, breezy, a high of 53. Already looking at the traffic cams, they're shaking around today. Could see gusts around 35, possibly higher than that miles per hour. Mainly clear and cool tonight, a low down to 35 with those winds still blowing around. Mostly sunny and 46 for your high on Friday, 48 and sunny Saturday, partly sunny, a high of 52 for Sunday, and on Monday mostly sunny, a high of 57 degrees. Right now in Madison it's sunny and 45, Green Bay checking in at 43 degrees, in Waukesha sunny and 44, and in Milwaukee sunny skies and 47 degrees. I'm Adam Roberts, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 10:09.
It's WTMJ Now. News, opinions, Wisconsin. Everything you need to know in the Badger State and beyond. Here's your host, Steve Scafidi.
And happy Thursday, everybody. This week's flying by. I was off Monday, as you know. I never really got a chance to tell my Vegas stories, but I'll hold my powder for now. There was a BravoCon convention going on there while I was there. You familiar with this? All the reality TV stars, the, what's this, Real World, Housewives. Well, on the flight from Milwaukee, we actually had some of these folks on our flights. I don't think I heard the term, oh my God, as much as I've ever heard on that flight going on. Oh my God, oh my God. It's like, shut up. What was the one thing somebody said? Oh my God. The last day in the house was the worst day of my life. Oh, my God. First of all, you're a non-famous person who's getting all kinds of recognition and attention, including going to a BravoCon in Vegas. How bad can your life be? Was there a gun battle at the old house on the Real World? Was there a fisticuffs? Wasn't it basically just a bunch of over-primped wannabe actresses and like fake dudes who go to tanning salons who also want to be actors or something else mixed up in a house? Isn't that the whole thing? My goodness. Oh my God. All right. I promise I won't say it anymore because I don't even like when I say it. All right. This is a serious story. I just want to get your reaction to it. So I saw this starting to get out on social media. Then I saw a little coverage on some of the networks over the last couple of days. The story is this, and it has to do with the coverage of the attack on Israel on October 7th. Apparently, now the use of the term journalist is one of the most loosely applied, descriptives that we could have anymore because, frankly, the name is and the title has sort of lost its impact to me. Doesn't mean I don't respect journalists. I do. Like real journalists. But when you start drifting into advocacy journalism or the story I'm going to tell you in a bit, that crosses a line that I'm not comfortable with. What am I talking about? Well, apparently, again, I'm air quoting journalists, were embedded with some of the Hamas terrorists who went into Israel on the afternoon of October 7th and slaughtered innocent civilians. These fake journalists, my word, from Reuters, AP, CNN, New York Times, apparently may have had insider knowledge from Hamas or these terrorists and been along for the ride as they murdered Israeli citizens, lynched soldiers, filmed kidnappings of children and grandmothers. So my question is a simple one. If you have advanced knowledge of an attack on civilians and you have this loose designation as a journalist, what's your real obligation in that situation? Is it to pretend that you're a reporter covering the war in the Middle East, for lack of a better phrase? Or should you, I don't know, give warning to innocent civilians that they're about to be slaughtered by terrorists in their own country, in their own homes? So, and that's part of a bigger problem. Much of the reporting from Gaza, where Hamas is embedded in tunnels and has essentially been providing leadership over the Palestinian people for 15 years. Much of the information we get about that side of the equation when it comes to the war against Israel comes from essentially sympathizers to Hamas and terrorists. And for me, there's significant ethical concerns here. This is not journalism. There's some great reporting being done on this. Are these fake journalists, these photojournalists who freelance basically for CNN, New York Times, AP, did they willingly go along with this attack on innocent civilians so they could get video and reporting that they could sell then to the New York Times and CNNs of the world? And the good news is the names of some of these people, Abu Mustafa is one, Hassan Ezleah, who calls himself a freelance photojournalist, apparently are taking sides. And as part of that taking sides, if the accounts are correct and starting to seem like they may be, not only willingly went along on this raid into Israel, but in many cases may have had knowledge that this was happening and did nothing with that knowledge, even though they were selling their information and the reporting to U.S. media agencies. 855-616-1620, the old National Bank talking text line. This disgusts me on so many levels. This disinformation, these fake journalists who are terrorist sympathizers, who are given credibility and given access, apparently, to the actions of the terrorists before they take them. A further erosion in a line that should never be crossed. What do you think? 855-616-1620. I think it's nuts. And if I'm a CNN or a New York Times or an AP or Reuters, I would not employ those people ever again. And they would be on a short list, or maybe a long list, hopefully not, of journalists, air quoting journalists again, who are really not much more than terrorist sympathizers. We'll continue that conversation after this on WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this.
Vince Vitrano here from Wisconsin's Morning News, reminding you to subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News podcast. We update it every day with every segment, every interview, and every bit we do on the show. Wait, we don't do bits on the show.
If my intelligence is artificial, then why am I smarter than you?
Absolutely boat race.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
All right, maybe we do some bits.
F you.
Subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News podcast wherever you get your podcasts or listen live on WTMJ.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve for Evan. I've told you about the tossing and turning, all that restless nights of sleep. Nobody wants that. That is not good for you. It causes stress. It makes you grouchy and crabby. Nobody wants a crabby, grouchy guy on the radio. There's enough of those already. I did something about it. I went to Advent, one of their great facilities, talked to their docs on my first visit. 30 minutes. They figured it out for me. After a really simple sleep study at home in my own bed, they determined my problem, my breathing triangle, sinuses, nasal passages. They did a short procedure in one of their great offices, and I'm back to breathing better than ever. Again, last night, uninterrupted sleep. Up at 5, feeling great, feeling refreshed, ready for the show. If you struggle like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to adventknows.com and schedule an appointment today. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Attention value hunters, save on new Black Friday Now deals this week at Fleet Farm. Enjoy 20% off select sizes of our chocolate candies. Get a Food Saver vacuum sealing system for just $69.99. Stay warm and cozy with Mega Warmer 10-packs, 2 for $10. And stock up on softwood fuel pellets, 2 bags for only $11. Save big on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Capital Heating and Cooling. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ. WTMJ Now.
Journalists, supposedly, fake news, I don't know, embedding with Hamas terrorists, participating, they say observing, recording the slaughter of innocent civilians on October 7th in Israel. I say that goes way too far. From the 262 on the Old National Bank talk and text line, can you make the pro-Hamas argument that I must be missing? There are so many people coming out in their support, so there must be something that I'm missing. I just understand where they're coming from. It seems to be this. And again, I'm not a Middle Eastern expert, but I've read enough about it, heard enough about it now to kind of have a good sense of what we're talking about, what I'm talking about. Palestinian people who certainly have a right to their own homeland have fallen in, whether that was an election duly conducted in 2005 or 2007, to have the Hamas organization represent them. They made the wrong choice because Hamas is a terrorist organization whose sole, it's number one in their tenets of their organization, the absolute destruction of Israel and the genocide of its Jewish people. There's no gray there. So when you have an organization like that, and organization is too nice a word, a terrorist group like Hamas representing Palestinian people, often the terrorist part gets scrubbed away, and people who don't know, and the ill-informed is certainly a problem in this country and in the world, they look at, those are the folks that represent Palestinian citizens who certainly deserve their own homeland. And that part gets forgotten. There is no pro-Hamas argument. They're terrorists. You can make a pro-Palestinian argument if, and this is a big if, you excise the Hamas part of that equation. And to my Palestinian friends out there who often call or write the show, and me, you made the wrong choice. You chose Hamas. If you want to have a homeland, if you want to be represented in the world with respect and appreciation for the Palestinian people, which you deserve, you're going to have to make better choices. And at some point, you're going to have to reject the ideas of Hamas and terrorism. And I know that's a tough ask because you're in a war situation now, a war that probably most of you didn't want to be involved with, but because you've handed over your authority to Hamas, you have to live with that reality. From the 414, when you meddle with foreign affairs, you create a Hamas. We should have known we've done it before. Al-Qaeda, Taliban, ISIS. The U.S. made all these monsters. Did they? Or are those monsters a representation of a sort of takeover of a religion, Islam, and language written long ago to justify the slaughter of innocents? That makes more sense. And we shouldn't, as the leader of the free world, sit here and allow terrorists to take over every part of the rest of the world, because that's their goal. And I do support Israel's actions because the only way you get rid of Hamas is to kill them. From the 9-2 on the subject of the journalists, they are no different than the terrorists. I might even go say they are terrorists. The good news is some of these people will no longer be employed by the CNNs and the New York Times of the world. But that's not everybody. And I think when you're looking at these very complex situations in the Middle East, and the world for that matter, understanding where the information comes from is really important. And I'm not a journalist, never claimed to be. I'm somebody who talks for a living on a radio station, on a radio show, with as much information as I can bring to you and tries to present, whenever possible, both sides of an argument. I don't see a both sides here. If you have advanced knowledge of an attack on innocent civilians and you don't report that information, then you are guilty by association. There's no protection built into the label of journalist in my mind. From the 920, I don't think freelance reporters embedded with the Israel Defense Force have no obligation to warn Gaza targets. In fact, I think it would be criminal. Is Hamas a ruling government party or terrorist? Because the definition keeps switching based on convenience. They're terrorists. They also, and this is what drives me nuts about our media organizations, they're putting out information about civilians killed based on what Hamas essentially is telling them. Without, by the way, that qualifier at the end of that statement. They will say 11,000 Palestinians killed. With no qualifier that number came from essentially Hamas. Have innocents been killed in Gaza? You bet. But I also did some reading last night, and the IDF is actually warning the areas they're going to strike well in advance and telling innocents to get out. Now, the sleazy part of Hamas is they, of course, often don't let those folks get out. And they've located, which is also the sickening part of this terrorist story, many of their facilities and their tunnels next, playgrounds, hospitals, places where people live. Of course, risking the lives of innocent Palestinians who don't deserve any of this. And I know this is simplistic, but when you choose to be represented by terrorists, 99 times out of 100, your life is going to be miserable. 99 times out of 100, maybe 100 out of 100. They're not going to respect any rights that you have or you think you have. They're not going to respect women. They're not going to respect children. They're not going to respect basic human rights. And they will, when given the opportunity, slaughter people, behead children, burn people alive. That's what terrorists do. I know it's not the most happy of subjects, but when we have fake journalists who know something about the threat to innocence and they would prefer to sell that information rather than give it to someone who could actually use it to prevent that slaughter, I've got a problem with that. Quick break.
More of WTMJ now after this. Congratulations to our very own Jeff Wagner, retiring after 25 years on WTMJ.
No show lasts forever. I'm going to be retiring from WTMJ at the end of this year.
But he's not done yet.
Congrats early on your retirement.
Well, I'm around for another 2 months. Can't get rid of me before December 15th.
Keep tuning in and don't miss out on our send-off to the one and only Jeff Wagner. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Welcome to our Everyday Health feature sponsored by the Fredert and the Medical College Wisconsin Health Network. In the current day and age of technology, it's no longer necessary to always come to a clinic to see your doctor in person. Many physicians now offer virtual care, which allows you to get the care you need without leaving the comfort of a home. With us to help learn more about virtual care options is Dr. Brian Beaumont. Dr. Beaumont is a family medicine physician who practices with the Fredert and the Medical College Wisconsin Health Network. First of all, Dr. Beaumont, thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, hi, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
What can somebody who's never had a virtual visit before expect during their virtual visit?
Great question. I would say it's very similar to in-person, I guess minus the clinic walls. But the doctor will review your symptoms, answer your questions, provide prescription, and do refills, and in the end, discuss your personal care plan.
What types of appointments can be done by a virtual visit?
I think generally what we say here is that anything that does not need a hands-on exam can be done virtually. But if you have questions about really if your symptoms are appropriate, call your local care teams to discuss. The things that we do virtually, a lot of times we'll see chronic disease management, cold and flu symptoms, medication check and refills, seasonal allergies, and test result review is also a great use case example. But I just want to say this too generally. If you have issues with transportation, childcare, work, etc., and you need to be seen virtual, please call us. We can make this virtual appointment work for you to get your needs met. The advantage that we see about virtual, especially at Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin, is first, we've got a great wealth of expertise in our physicians. They practice contemporary medicine and have a very unique connection to Eastern Wisconsin's only academic medical center and the subspecialty expertise of its academic physicians. Like we're saying, very convenient, but Freighter is very focused on meeting our patients where they are, convenient hours, including extended hours, multiple same-day care options, and when in-person care is needed, we have, again, many convenient locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin.
Dr. Beaumont, it sounds like a great idea. I appreciate your time. Thanks for being with us today. To learn more about these virtual care options, visit freighter.com/virtual.
It's WTMJ Now.
Let's take a look at our show poll for today. I asked you the question. The third Republican presidential debate was held last night in Miami. Who do you think won the nights? And I had some fun with it. I was just going to give you the cast of characters, the Haley, the Christie, the Ramaswamy, Scott, DeSantis choices. But I thought, let's get to the heart of it, right? So I gave you these choices on the show poll. If you're not on the show poll page on the X, formerly known as Twitter, the choices were Donald Trump, who wasn't there, but in my opinion, probably won the night. 22% of you currently with 200 votes. China, Russia, and Iran, who were mentioned frequently during the debate last night, 17%. And right now, the leader, which I think is really correct as well, the other TV networks, 43%, because America's probably had enough of a debate for Republicans where the leading candidate's not in the room. Kind of an interesting reality in politics, but as we know now, there's no rules for any of this. So, all right, we're going to take a break here. After the break, I love talking to partners. We're going to do a few of those this week. And after the break, a little Omaha Steaks talk. One of my favorite companies, one of my favorite partners, with the chief evangelist for Omaha Steaks, his words, will join us after the break right here in WTMJ Now.
WTMJ Now.
Set your independence in motion. It starts with PACE at Community Care. The program of all-inclusive care for the elderly, also known as PACE, offers complete medical and long-term care services. A team of dedicated healthcare professionals coordinates all aspects of care to support independent living as long as possible. Learn more about a community that cares. Visit joinpacewi.com or call 833-900-PACE. That's joinpacewi.com or call 833-900-PACE.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik for Flanners Home Entertainment. How about improving watching the team and the games this season by pulling the trigger on an upgrade to your TV and audio system from Flanners Home Entertainment? In an age of impersonable big box stores and risky online purchases, there is still our locally owned Flanners, where quality, service, the best brands, and guaranteed best price remain top priorities. Shop Flanners in West Allis, Grafton, and at Flanners.com. Flanners, sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Whatever you do, don't buy an engagement ring or any piece of diamond jewelry until you discover the all-new Diamonds Direct, opening very soon on Mayfair Road in front of Mayfair Mall. This is no ordinary jewelry store. Diamonds Direct is a global diamond powerhouse, started by former diamond wholesalers, a real direct importer bringing real price relief to Milwaukee. No middleman direct importer prices on exquisite diamonds, straight from the diamond cutters. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, more diamond jewelry than you've ever seen in one place at prices you never thought possible. Why pay 20 to 30% more than you need to? Diamonds Direct is here to revolutionize how people here buy diamonds once and for all, with a staggering selection and prices that will blow you away. All this plus a stunning showroom, unbeatable warranties and guarantees, free service for life on any purchase, and a luxurious shopping experience. Diamonds Direct, Milwaukee's direct diamond importer. Opening soon on Mayfair Road in front of Mayfair Mall.
WTMJ Now.
If you listen to the show, you know I love talking to our great partners here at WTMJ. Today is an example of that. Joining us on the phone line, Todd Simon, fifth-generation family owner, chairman, and, I love this phrase, chief steak evangelist Todd joins us on the phone. Hi, Todd.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Omaha Steaks, man. I love talking about you guys. I love your products, and I always look forward to that delivery on my front porch. I was not aware until I read the release. 5 generations. My math skills are not great, but that's, 100 years?
106 years. The company was started by my great-great-grandfather 106 years ago.
Where did it all start?
It all started in Omaha, Nebraska. I mean, he emigrated from Riga, Latvia, got on the train after passing through Ellis Island, headed west, got off where it looked like home. That was Omaha, Nebraska. Started a small meat cart, literally going door to door, selling meat off a cart. Eventually has a butcher shop and a bigger one, and yada yada yada. Here we are, the largest direct to consumer sellers of steaks and gourmet food in the country.
I love the story, and I love your product, as I said. But this is a company that's really seen it all. We talk about being a pioneer in delivering to people's homes, and certainly that is a big reality in the marketplace of today. How are you guys so good at that?
Well, we started shipping direct to consumer in the late 50s, so we've got a lot of experience doing it, and we actually pioneered some innovations at the time. The refrigerated box, which we call our miniature deep freeze package, the great insulated cooler with dry ice. We were one of the first companies to vacuum seal our meat for freshness, and so all of that came together in the late 50s, early 60s, and then direct parcel shipping with UPS started to come along, and that really just kicked our business into high gear. We were one of the first companies to have a toll-free 800 number so that our customers from all across the country could call and place an order, and you wouldn't have to have that expensive long-distance phone call.
Amazing stuff.
A big deal back then.
That's why I love the story, and really, it's in the name, Omaha Steaks, but you guys do a lot more than that now.
Sure. I mean, we're right now we're getting ready for Thanksgiving, so we've got, of course, hams and turkeys for Thanksgiving. Although I'd prefer if you made a beef Chateaubriand, because whatever, it's just yummier. Turkey's boring. Although the ones we sell are quite good.
There you go.
And they always sell out. So we can't you can't if you can't beat them, join them, I guess is what we think on the turkeys. And I actually ordered 2 of them myself for Thanksgiving, so I'm kind of excited about those. But we've got hams, turkeys, we've got roasts, we've got appetizers, desserts, pork chops, burgers. We've just completely revamped our burger line. If you haven't had an Omaha Steaks burger in a while, I encourage you to try them. They're usually included in those bundle packages that you could get at omahasteaks.com. And I think you've got a discount code for your listeners too,
WTMJ,
right?
yes, 4 simple letters that will earn you a discount. So yes, WTMJ.
Yeah, so $30 off, I think, with that code in the promo box. So lots of great bundles that include all of the kinds of things I was talking about, including, and I know you've tried these, our scalloped potatoes, our twice-baked potatoes, and, of course, our delicious desserts, caramel apple tartlets, chocolate molten lava cakes. I mean, the list goes on. Desserts, one of our fastest-growing categories.
I just had one of the apple tartlet desserts over the weekend with a little vanilla ice cream. Fantastic. So I guess one of the things that a lot of companies try to do what you guys have done, and you've done it for over 100 years now, since 1917. What's the Omaha Steaks difference? Why are you guys so good at it?
Well, first of all, we are in Omaha, Nebraska. We are in the heart of Beef Country, USA. We get the first look at the very best beef in the country, and we source all of our beef from the region around Omaha. We start out with great raw material. We naturally age it for 28 days minimum. That aging process is an old world art. It's all but lost today, and it's something that grocery stores don't do, most butcher shops don't do. Costco doesn't do it. We do it because we know it imparts amazing flavor and tenderness to every cut. And then we hand trim with skilled butchers. I have a building full of artisan butchers that all they do is take care of our customers by cutting amazing steaks by hand. Then we vacuum seal them and then flash freeze them at the peak of flavor and tenderness. So that steak is put into a state of suspended animation and will stay there until the customer thaws it out and puts it on their grill for pure steak perfection. And we back all of that up with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, which is only the kind of guarantee that we can make the best guarantee in the business because we know we are so confident that people are going to be thrilled with our product.
And I think I've had almost every one of your products, and the quality is unmatched, and that's one of the reasons I love talking about you guys. We're talking to Todd Simon, the chairman of Omaha Steaks. You sent me some great information about the holidays because this holiday season, everybody's trying to figure out what to get somebody. And I've done this countless times, not only from my time at WTMJ, but before that. This is a great gift idea for people. It's something that they may not have gotten before. It's a different kind of a thing. Do they need another tie or another set of gloves? A gift package from Omaha Steaks delivered to their front door really says happy holidays and say, I love you guys. Here's a gift for you.
No, absolutely. You know, when you give Omaha Steaks, you're not just giving meat in a box. You're giving the chance for that recipient to have an amazing meal and make amazing memories with their family and friends. I mean, we did some research this year. 3/4 of Americans say they prefer a nice meal with friends and family over a gift of more stuff. So whether that means sharing a meal just because, or sending gourmet dishes to someone who they can enjoy on their own, or celebrating a holiday, food and family have always gone seamlessly together, and Omaha Steaks is there to make that happen for families all over America.
So you're taking all the guesswork out. It's easy. OmahaSteaks.com. We're giving you a promo code WTMJ right now, $30 off your order. Minimum order may be required. But, Todd, this is a great gift any time of year, but especially during the holidays. I always love our conversations. I'll say this. Keep up the great work. Your product line is amazing. I've had literally everything in your lineup. I've never been disappointed.
Well, thanks so much. And remember also that we've got lots of great cooking instructions, recipes to make it absolutely foolproof. When you visit omahasteaks.com, you can, of course, buy those steaks, but you can also learn a lot about how to cook them better.
Always great to talk to you. Happy holidays, Todd Simon, Omaha Steaks, fifth generation family owner, chairman, and as he likes to say, chief steak evangelist. Great to talk to you, Todd.
Great talking with you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. All right, Omaha Steaks. WTMJ is the promo code, $30 off your order. I love talking about Omaha Steaks. And I just got a box. How about that? And I will probably send boxes to some of you guys. Maybe a Bill McCosh and Joseph Pecky would like a nice box. Oh, maybe a Charlie. Producer Charlie, he's giving me the head nod. Yes, good idea. Make a mental note. Need to do that. All right, after the break, talking numbers, poll numbers to be exact, with the maestro of the Marquette Law School poll. The director, Charles Franklin, will join WTMJ Now after this.
More of WTMJ Now after this.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved, but here you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Committee for Heiser Automotive. Yesterday was pickup day. Yes, driving a brand new 2023 Ford Explorer. I can't wait to tell you all about it. I'm still learning all the bells and whistles, but whenever you're driving a Ford Explorer, you're getting a great brand, a great vehicle, and I can already tell just in actually 2 days since I got it, great gas mileage. Some of the things you get when you buy from Heiser, no hidden market adjustment fees. Honest pricing, always priced under MSRP. There are great other programs, roadside assistance for life, vehicle exchange program, so much more. Visit Heiser.com for all the full details, or one of their 5 great locations locally here in southeastern Wisconsin. They have specialists that can walk you through their lot, show you what's there, what's available. You can special order the vehicle you want, all available to you as a Heiser customer. That's why they say every day, today's your day.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
R&R Insurance does an exceptional job of providing employee benefits to all of us here at Good Karma Brands. Companies are starting to plan for fall enrollment for their workforce. Here's Jeff Salasinski, VP of Insurance Operations at R&R Insurance.
Thanks, Vince. A benefit understood is a benefit appreciated. Knowing how to best communicate your benefits will help your employees understand their options, guide their decision-making, and increase their sense of value and engagement. In this tight labor market, businesses need to know how to use their benefit program to attract and retain employees.
So, Jeff, what's the solution?
At R&R Insurance, we help employers brand their benefit packages in a customized, easy-to-understand fashion, taking out the complex and confusing nature of shopping for health insurance. With our latest mobile technology, your employees will have easy, immediate access to benefit information for themselves and their families 24/7. At R&R Insurance, we know employee benefits.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
It's WTMJ Now.
All right, so I always look forward to this conversation because I like smart people, and he's one of them. Charles Franklin, director of the MU Law School poll, joining us on the Tri-County Contracting Hotline. Their big, newest poll released yesterday. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
All right, so I saw some of the numbers. Some good news for people like Nikki Haley, because if she was head-to-head with Joe Biden, she was up by 9 points. What are some of the big takeaways from your release yesterday, the latest edition of the MU Law School poll?
Well, I think the first would be a very close race between Trump and Biden, and a close race between DeSantis and Biden. Biden leads Trump by 2 points, and DeSantis leads Biden by 2 points. Both of those are, of course, within the 4.5% margin of error. So you'd be justified in calling this a toss-up. Nikki Haley does so well largely because voters don't react to her negatively the way they do react to Trump and to DeSantis. And I think we see that in that a third of the respondents said they didn't know enough about Haley to have an opinion of her. So that when she was paired against Biden, Biden's weaknesses shone through a bit more, whereas when it's Trump against Biden, there are real strengths and weaknesses and strong opinions on both sides of those two. And as a result, we get closer to the toss-up that we see. I'm sure if Nikki Haley got the nomination, that we would see the race tighten very much with her as people found out more and as the things they learn to like about her and the things they dislike about her become more cemented.
As you look at the race sort of setting up, we still haven't had actual votes cast in primaries, but polls obviously are a big indicator of the strength of campaigns. People have actually withdrawn from the Republican nomination because of their failure to capture the imagination or the votes or the enthusiasm of voters. So at this point, basically a year out, what are the numbers saying to you as someone who looks at the metrics of races, looks at the numbers related to polling of elections?
Right. Well, I think on the Republican side, it's pretty clearly a three-person race at this point, with Trump 20 points ahead of DeSantis and Haley a bit behind DeSantis, too. None of the other Republican candidates get more than 3% support, and we just haven't seen movement for them, while we have seen movement up for Haley, but also pretty sharp decline in support for DeSantis. So there has been movement there. Now, the caution here is that historically, we have often seen substantial movement in the polls in late November through December, prior to the first votes in Iowa and New Hampshire. Once Iowa and New Hampshire vote, then it's a real scramble in history. Things can turn around quite a lot once those first votes are cast. Bottom line is, I would watch the poll numbers in the coming 2 months and in early January before the Iowa caucus on the 15th of January. But at this point, Trump seems strong enough and the lead substantial enough that it will take a real major change on the GOP side to upend Trump. Not saying it couldn't possibly happen, but we really just haven't seen anybody emerge to really come close to him. DeSantis, who was the strongest against him back in the winter, has only gone down in his support over time, not showing signs of rising.
I was going to ask you this because I was looking at some of the favorability numbers of not only the presidential candidates, but some of the local officials in Wisconsin, state officials. Does favorability always sort of match the numbers that people say they will vote for them, or does that not matter?
It matches closer with job approval. So Biden's job approval and Evers' job approval are within a couple of points of what their favorability is. The vote can differ, though, because think about it this way. The people that dislike both Biden and Trump are 18% of this poll. So we're talking about close to 1 in 5 voters that really don't like either of the leading candidates right now. That means that doesn't predict their vote very well, right?
Yeah.
Not surprisingly, those that like one and don't like the other vote almost 100% for the person they like. But it's and very, very few, less than 1%, approve of both Biden and Trump. So one of the keys going forward is to watch that group that are double negatives, the double unfavorable people. In 2016, that was a pretty big group, and it broke for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
In 2020, it was also a pretty big group, but it broke for Biden. So where are we going to see that over the next 12 months? And possibly, does that number go down as people focus on the race and decide they really do like one of them better than the other?
Charles Franklin joining us on WTMJ now, talking about the latest edition of the MU Law School poll. So I was mentioning to a journalist that I was going to have you on the program, and he wanted me to ask you this question, so I'm going to ask it. We saw what happened Tuesday in elections across the country, a good day for Democrats. Does that necessarily translate to your work with Wisconsin polling? Did you see any of that in your numbers?
Right. I think there is a divide between the Tuesday results that we saw, which were mostly pretty strongly and good for Democrats, with only the exception of Mississippi, where the Republican governor won re-election. I think those results Tuesday showed the continued importance of abortion as an issue,
mm-hmm.
and abortion as an issue in the Virginia legislative races, as well as the Kentucky governor race, and of course, the Ohio referendum on abortion. So that's a strength, a continued strength for Democrats, and a continued trouble point for Republicans in how they've dealt with the issue. But that said, we don't see any evidence that Biden's job approval is working its way up. In fact, it was about 3 points down in our poll compared to June. And his strengths and weaknesses as a candidate are often in other areas. He is seen as better on abortion than Trump is, but Trump remains better on the economy and better on the immigration and the southern border. So these are issues that, again, we'll see how they work out over the year. I think some of those fundamentals, especially on abortion, help the Democrats, but it's not clear yet that they will boost Joe Biden himself.
I think I've asked you this question every time I've talked to you on the show. And is the challenges of polling, as people have moved away from landlines, obviously that's pretty common now. Most people have the smartphones, cell phones. Has that issue gone away for pollsters, or are you still wrangling with some of that?
The issue has not gone away, but we've shifted our methodology. We now conduct about 70% of the interviews online using your smartphone or your tablet or your laptop, if anybody still uses laptops. And the reason for doing that is that we can now work from the registered voter list for Wisconsin and have a pretty high percentage of that list contains an email address and a phone number. And that means we can reach people by sending them an email with a link to the survey, send them a text message also with a link to the survey, and finally, if we don't hear back from them, then we call them on the telephone. And we ended up with 693 respondents that we interviewed online and 215 that were done by telephone with live telephone interviewers. So we're still going after the telephone, but we're pleased that people like to do it online. That way they can do it conveniently when it's a good time for them instead of when we call and interrupt their dinner, which we don't really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting, I think, good response from this new methodology.
Is 900 generally your sweet spot for your polling?
We've generally been doing 800. Right now, we're running a little higher, around 900. Partly that's because we're shifting the methodology, and so, of course, we're evaluating how well the method works, and a little higher sample size helps with that. I suspect we will stay in the 800 to 900 range for its sample size.
And because I always pay attention to your polls, when's the next poll out? What will any different things you'll be asking those respondents?
Well, we're releasing a national poll next week, but then we're going to wait until after the Iowa caucus in January. So we'll be back with both state and national polling after the caucuses, after the actual voting begins in January.
The real votes come in,
off
yes.
To the races,
yes.
Off to the races until November.
Charles Franklin, director of the MU Law School poll. Always great to talk to you. Appreciate your wisdom on this subject.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Charles Franklin from the MU Law School poll. Lots of things happening in politics, and certainly we are going to be on top of those on WTMJ. A lot of great work being done across all the shows and all the platforms here on Wisconsin's radio station, WTMJ. We'll take a break here.
More of WTMJ now after this.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 1. At Creative Planning, we offer full-service, comprehensive wealth management services through our in-house team of wealth managers, accountants, and attorneys to integrate all aspects of your financial life. Get all the expertise, all the advice you need, all in-house. Visit creativeplanning.com. That's creativeplanning.com.
The following takes place in the home of a Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric customer.
This furnace is in bad shape, Jason.
It's okay. That's what a beyondification is for. Merle, hand me that wrench. Yep, we're going to recalibrate it back to like-new condition.
I'm working on the deep clean right now.
Okay, Merle, jump on the comprehensive safety check.
How's that beyondification coming, guys?
Going well, Laura. We'll have Miss Taylor's furnace purring away at maximum efficiency in no time.
Saving her money on energy bills every month.
And extending the life of her furnace.
That'll save her even more money.
Way beyond the standard tune-up.
And it's the best thing you can do to prepare your home.
Because winter is coming.
Okay, guys, we have another beyondification right down the street when you're done.
Roger that. Merle, hand me the drill.
Call Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric today to schedule your furnace beyondification or schedule online at callcapitalcares.com.
Staples stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, best-selling author, and founder of the Neal Group, with over 40 years of experience helping businesses make money and keep it. 2023 is almost over. How are you doing? Do you even know how you are doing? Do you have money in the bank? Are you getting the advice you need to minimize your taxes and put more money in your pocket? Do your calls get returned and questions answered? We help you look at your numbers and understand what they mean. How would you like an extra $10,000 or $100,000 in your pocket? We can help you now, before the end of the year. Using tried and true strategies, we have helped countless businesses increase their profits and lower stress. Our Neal deal guarantees you'll increase your profit or you don't pay us. Really. If you want to get started on the road to making more money and having less stress, visit nealgroup.net right now. That's NEAL group.net. The first meeting is free to see if we can help. Again, nealgroup.net.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. WTMJ now.
All right, I need 2 callers. A little something we call That's What Steve Said. Some real-life audio taken a rip right from the show. Not ripped from the show, taken from the show by producer Charlie. on various topics. Top of my head, I'm sure we talked about a lot of things this week. I don't remember what any of the questions were, even though I wrote them. So, surprise, surprise, surprise. 2 callers, 855-616-1620. Chance to win a $30 Mine Shaft gift card. You're going to have to hold through the news, but that's okay. We'll have fun. We will make it fun. And you'll hear what I said about 5 different topics, sort of, after the news, which is next, right here on WTMJ.
More of WTMJ now after this.
Hey, I know what it's like. Your knees hurt, your hip doesn't feel right, your back hurts as soon as you take that first step after waking up. Well, don't let it sideline you any longer. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Call QC Kinetics now. It's the future of pain relief. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. They restore and repair that damaged joint tissue, and they do it the natural way. It's the science of using properties from your own body to bring you that lasting relief that you're looking for with no drugs and no downtime, with advanced protocols that can get you moving again. And that's what you want to be doing. Well, get started now so you can live big in 2024. Talk about a great use of your FSA and HSA. QC Kinetics offers advanced regenerative treatments, and folks are getting amazing results. Call QC Kinetics. A free consultation awaits. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Let's see if they can keep pace with us.
Has the ball taken away by Giannis, who swoops in. He's in the open floor and sends it down, throwing the mean mug on, going the other way. The Greek Freak unleashed.
The Bucks are in Indiana with coverage beginning tonight at 5:30 on your home of the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 11 o'clock, it's sunny and 49 degrees, a high of 53 today. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Adam Roberts. Right now in Milwaukee, they have just taken a break in day 4 of the Michael Mattioli trial. Defense attorneys Michael Hart and Craig Powell have been presenting their case for about the last couple of hours. And again, looks like the judge has just dismissed the court for a brief recess. They'll be picking this up throughout the afternoon and will, of course, have plenty of coverage as 38 total witnesses are still expected to take the stand before the trial's expected conclusion comes tomorrow. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Milwaukee, serious accusations being levied against the city attorney's office.
The Office of the Milwaukee Inspector General on Wednesday publishing a report alleging Deputy City Attorney Odalu Ohiku was receiving paychecks from the city while still working at his private law firm. The report also includes City Attorney Tierman Spencer, with allegations Spencer certified the time Ohiku spent at his private firm as time worked for the city. The Inspector General recommends both attorneys be removed from their positions. The district attorney's office will decide if charges are necessary. Jack Grau, WTMJ News.
Local mail carriers calling for increased protection after multiple carriers in Milwaukee were targeted by robbers last week. Representative for Milwaukee's Association of Letter Carriers Tom Dahl telling TMJ4 News what response he hopes the city will give.
I would really like to hear a public statement that they're with us, that their carriers' safety is at their utmost concern. I think this is not the time to be silenced.
Dahl says the robbers might be targeting financial information and advocates for increased police for increased police patrolling. Decision Wisconsin, the latest Marquette University Law School poll indicating 45% of people would vote for President Biden over former President Donald Trump if they had to vote today. However, Trump's still well ahead of other Republican candidates for the nomination. And poll director Charles Franklin tells WTMJ now that's likely to remain the case.
At this point, Trump seems strong enough and the lead substantial enough that it will take a real major change on the GOP side to upend Trump.
Franklin says Biden trails Republican candidates Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley in hypothetical matchups. The next poll will come out after the Iowa and New Hampshire caucuses, which are, of course, early next year. And as the war rages between Israel and Hamas, the U.S. is targeting a militant site in Syria as retaliation for a string of attacks on American troops.
The White House is warning there could be more retaliatory airstrikes on Iran-linked sites in eastern Syria following a second round Wednesday night. Still, National Security spokesman John Kirby told ABC's Good Morning America the White House does not want the situation to escalate.
We're sending a strong signal to the Revolutionary Guard Corps and to the Supreme Leader in Tehran. We're not looking for a war with Iran, but we will do what we have to do to protect our troops and our forces.
Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All the fans in the stands rooting for the S&P 500 as they continue to try for their longest winning streak in about 20 years. Looking good so far, up 4 points on the day to 4386. The Dow Jones, on the other hand, down 10 points today to 34,096. The Nasdaq is up slightly, 28 points on the day to 13,678. The Annex Wealth Management Year-End Tax Planning Guide is here. Download yours at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather on the way next. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
Have you been thinking about putting away your patio furniture? With By the Yard's maintenance-free outdoor furniture, you wouldn't have to. By the Yard builds furniture for year-round enjoyment. Their outdoor furniture boasts an impressive 35-year warranty, ensuring your investment lasts for decades to come. Head over to By the Yard's showroom at Mayfair Mall in Wauwatosa to check out their maintenance-free outdoor furniture firsthand. Or browse their online showroom at buytheyard.net. That's buytheyard.net. With By the Yard, life is better outdoors.
Set your independence in motion. It starts with PACE at Community Care. The program of all-inclusive care for the elderly, also known as PACE, offers complete medical and long-term care services. A team of dedicated healthcare professionals coordinates all aspects of care to support independent living as long as possible. Learn more about a community that cares. Visit joinpacewi.com or call 833-900-PACE. That's joinpacewi.com or call 833-900-PACE.
Radon, the leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. The EPA equates high radon levels to smoking 8 cigarettes every day. Why risk it? When I learned about the dangerous radon levels in our home, Lifetime Radon Solutions helped protect me and my family. Lifetime Radon was in and out of our home in less than a day with a quick, clean radon mitigation install by experienced and professional technicians who guarantee results. Protect your family like I did and call Jen or Taylor at Lifetime Radon today. LifetimeRadon.com.
For the brave men and women of the United States military, it has been said that some gave all, but all gave some. At Tayback Law, we honor these sacrifices by working to ensure veterans receive the benefits they're entitled to. I am Monica Ireland Karras. I am a partner and a VA-accredited rep at Tayback Law. If you're a vet and you have been wrongfully denied your veterans benefits, visit taybackattorneys.com to set up a free evaluation. At Tayback Law, we fight for those who fought for us. Contact Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update.
Make it 3 wins in a row as Damian Lillard scored 34 points. Bobby Portis added 18, and the Milwaukee Bucks rally to beat the Detroit Pistons Wednesday night at Pfizer Forum by a final score of 120-118.
Lillard's into the front court, drives on Duren, puts up the floater, rims around and drops. Damian Lillard delivers again. He's got 15 of their last 17 now.
With the win, Milwaukee now improving to 5-2 on their season, having winning 4 of their last 5 games. The Bucks will be right back to work tonight with a 6 p.m. tip-off at Indiana. To baseball, where the Los Angeles Angels have hired Ron Washington to become their next manager. Washington, who now becomes the oldest manager in baseball, signed a 2-year contract with the team. And lastly, to the NFL, where the Green Bay Packers hit the practice field for the first time on Wednesday afternoon for the week. The good news for the Pack, wide receiver Christian Watson and defensive lineman Kenny Clark practiced. However, the not-so-good news, Quay Walker, Jair Alexander, Yosh Nijman, and John Runyon all did not. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Taking a look at your roads, your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Just one slow spot on the system right now, then slow for most of the morning through the Stadium Interchange just east of Hawley Road to about 35th Street, where we're seeing a bit of a tap on the brakes there. Just adding a few extra minutes on your drive from the zoo into downtown Milwaukee. Rest of the system, though, looking pretty good. No other incidents or delays.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. For convenient car shopping and financing, visit Heiser Automotive Group at one of their 4 locations, Toyota, Chevy, Ford, Lincoln, and Cadillac, or visit Heiser.com because today's your day.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, mostly sunny, still breezy today, a high of 53 degrees. Clear and cool overnight tonight, still breezy, a low of 35. Mostly sunny and 46 for your high on Friday, mostly sunny and 48 on Saturday. Continuing sunny on Sunday, that's appropriate, a high of 52 degrees. Could be flirting with the 60s by the time we hit Monday. Right now in Madison, it's 48 and sunny. In Green Bay, sunny skies 46 degrees. Waukesha, partly cloudy and 47. And in Milwaukee, clear skies and an even 50 degrees. I'm Adam Roberts, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
It's time to talk about the topics that were vague.
That's what she said. Ha! I don't get it.
It's time to talk about the topics that were hard.
That's what she said. Or he said.
It's time to talk about the topics that had us saying...
That's what she said.
It's time for...
That's what she said.
No, it's time for That's What Steve Said.
Let's just say it to lighten the tension when things sort of get hard.
Never gets old with Steve Carell. Of Office fame and other things. He does a lot of great movies, sometimes serious characters too, so big fan of Steve Carell. I'm a big fan of anybody willing to put themselves on the line to answer 5 questions, little something we call That's What Steve Said. Now, TJ from Wauwatosa, just hang on the line here. We still need another caller. 855-616-1620, $30 Mind Chef gift card. And oh, by the way, on Thursdays, buy one pizza, get one free. So I don't know what a pizza costs at Mind Chef, but if you buy one, you're going to get 2 for less than $30. That's a pretty good deal. And their food's fantastic. The setting is amazing. Beautiful downtown Hartford. Also an Oshkosh location. So 855-616-1620. I'm just going to talk until we get that. There we go. Phone lines lighten up. So we'll get that second caller. Questions today. I just looked. I wrote them, but I forgot them already. At least I did before the break. Football, season tickets, elections, Halloween. Hello. Costumes. What's the 5th one? Oh, a pet peeve of mine, a driving pet peeve. So if you're a good, loyal listener, and just because I haven't said it in a while, one of my requirements for being a fan of the show, all 3 hours mandatory. Just kidding, but not really. If you don't hear it live, we make the podcast so easy for you to find. WTMJ.com, all the shows, really, throughout the days and day parts here on WTMJ, available. The full podcast, interviews, features, all available. And then, oh, by the way, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, a brilliant array of platforms where you can find whatever you missed. Go back and listen. Trust me, it's worth it. Let's meet our players. From the beautiful city of Wauwatosa, TJ is welcome aboard.
Hey, good morning, Steve.
How are you?
Good.
Good. In 30 seconds or less, tell me about TJ.
I like listening to this game.
All right, tell me about TJ from Wauwatosa. What do we need to know?
I live in Tosa with my girlfriend for the last 5 years. Let's see, I'm a big Brewers fan. I liked Craig Counsell at one time, but now now I'm not a big fan.
The news of the week has changed your opinion a little bit, you might say.
Well, let's say he's dead to me.
Oh, that was one of my choices on my show poll this week, so well done you. All right, let's meet your opponents. Also a W city, Waukesha. Gail joins us. Hi, Gail.
Good morning, Steve.
How are you?
I am great.
So if I was to meet you somewhere, a festival, church, Brewers game, whatever, and I said, tell me about Gail, what would you tell me?
I tell you that I'm retired. My husband and I are retired. We're enjoying life. And I would tell you also that I'm disappointed in our sports teams this year, but hopefully I'm rooting for the Bucks.
There you go. That's a great attitude, and I think that will help you throughout the next few minutes as we go through the 5 questions that could change your life if changing your life means winning a $30 Mind Chef gift card in beautiful downtown Hartford. All right, TJ, you're first up. Gail, also listen carefully to the questions and the 3 possible answers. Each one is 3, only one is correct. So, TJ, first one, football. No surprise, football has been on my mind recently. I've been to quite a few games at Lambeau, did some pregame work with our pals over at ESPN 94.5. What did I say recently about fans who sell their tickets to fans of their opponents? A, you're never going to stop fans from doing this. It's how some of them pay for their season tickets. B, They're not in the business of letting you make money for the sole sake of making money. The reason for season tickets is to build your fan base, not the other team. Or C, selling tickets is about as Wisconsin as you can get. Great way to supplement your beer budget. What is the right answer, TJ?
Those are all three great choices there. I will say that you said C.
All right, so TJ, you said C. Gail from Waukesha, what do you think is the right answer?
I'll say B as in boy.
B as in boy. Gail will have a smile on her face after she hears this. If you're a season ticket holder and you are not going to the games, after some amount of time, you're not going to be a season ticket holder anymore unless you start going to the games. They're not in the business of letting you make money for the sole sake of making money. The reason for season tickets is you want to build your fan base, not the other team's fan base. All right, Gail, off to a great start. 1-0. TJ, some work to do. Gail, you are first up. This one has to do with Election Day, Tuesday. Republicans took it on the chin Tuesday across the country on Election Day. What did I say about so-called political experts? Listen carefully. 3 possible answers. Only one is correct. A, they're experts at making money. That's about it. B, Republicans are the new Democrats, dazed and confused. Or C, you want to start winning races? Stop listening to the old, tired voices, the former electeds, the strategists, all these geniuses running around making a lot of money, losing you elections. What's the right answer, Gail?
This will be C.
Gail says C. TJ, what do you say?
I believe I heard you say that, C.
All right, you guys are too smart. Here it is. But if I hear one more Republican tell me that it's about how much money Democrats are spending or the candidates that we are putting out there, look, Republicans, you want to start winning races? Stop listening to the old, tired voices, the former electeds, the strategists, all these geniuses who are running around making a lot of money, losing you elections. All right, Gail, 2-0. TJ, right there with one correct answer. TJ, you're first up at question number 3. Couple Halloween costume questions coming up here, so a little lighter. On our Halloween show, TJ, I talked about the last time I wore a costume for my least favorite holiday of the year. That's true. It's my least favorite holiday of the year. What was the costume? A, full gorilla outfit. I have a harsh memory of running down an alley in Milwaukee at 2 a.m. in a full gorilla costume. B, I think I was supposed to be one of the Blues Brothers, but it looked more like just like me wearing dark sunglasses. Or C, who doesn't remember my attempt to pull off a Donald Trump costume? Not when he was the president, but when he was just a big, dumb, rich guy. What was the right answer there, TJ?
Number 1 was what?
Gorilla outfit was A.
Okay. I think you were a Blues Brothers.
All right. TJ says B. All right. Gail, what do you say?
I'll say B.
Oh, no. Here's what I said. Last costume I wore, full gorilla outfit.
You could bring that back. That still could work.
I have a very harsh memory of running down an alley in Milwaukee at about 2 a.m. in a full gorilla costume for none of the right reasons. So
I have a lot of questions, but maybe not for today.
Not for today or the radio. And that's still true. That's a story I've never shared on the radio. It's not a great story. But neither of you got that one right. So Gail's still up 2-1 over TJ. Gail, question number 4. Sort of continuing on our costume theme from our questions, at least the last 2. I described an awkward situation last week where I found myself in an elevator with a group of people in costume. What were they dressed as? A, chickens. B, clowns. C, nuns. Gail, what's the right answer?
B, clowns.
Send in the clowns, Gail says. TJ?
I believe it was A.
Chickens, TJ says. Here we go. So I'm in an elevator by myself. Door opens. 6 clowns walk in. Full costume. I'm trying to joke around with clowns, thinking that's what clowns do. They're like the angriest, meanest, no interest in having fun at all. And basically, they kicked me out of the elevator at some point because I was trying to get into it with them a little bit. That's mean clowns is what that was. Gail, you are 3-1 over TJ. TJ, you can't win, but you are next up. So this is really for just personal pride. Question number 5, 3 possible answers. Only one correct, TJ. On yesterday's show, so current events, I talked about a driving pet peeve of mine. What was it? A, when I pull up to a dedicated left turn lane, I don't care if I'm 1 car or 10 cars, Always the green arrow, not flashing, I go first. Or B, one of the things I can't stand, people who drive with pets sitting in their laps. Leave Sparky at home, people. Or C, if I see one more car with a missing bumper or with the entire driver's side window made of plastic and duct tape, I'm going to lose my mind. What's the right answer, TJ?
C.
TJ says C. Gail, what do you say?
I could see you saying any one of these, Steve, but I'm going to pick B as in boy.
B as in boy. Let's hear what I said on question number 5. When I pull up to a dedicated left turn lane, I don't care if I'm one car or 10 cars. Always green arrow. Not flashing. Always green arrow. I go first. Otherwise, why have a dedicated left turn lane? That's a no-brainer. There ought to be a law. There ought to be a law. All right, TJ, thanks for playing. That's what Steve said.
Thank you.
All right, what was your girlfriend's name? Give her some love on the show since you're on the radio.
Her name is the lovely Christina.
There you go, Christina. TJ only got one right, so there's work to do at home.
Oh, no, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm not going to be able to take her to dinner.
Here's the good thing. You can call back and play again. All right, thank you, TJ.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Gail, from the beautiful city of Waukesha, 3 correct answers, very respectable, a loyal listener to the program, I'm guessing. Gail, congratulations.
Thank you, Steve, and good luck to TJ. I hope he has a good day.
All right, Gail, stay on the line. Producer Charlie will get all information. You are the proud winner of a $30 gift card from Mind Chef Restaurant every Thursday, 2-for-1 pizzas. If you buy 5, you get 5. So keep it rolling. Keep feeding those kids or that ball team. Great restaurant, great pizza, great location, beautiful downtown Hartford. Thanks to the folks at Mind Chef. Thanks to all of you for playing this week's edition of That's What Steve Said.
More of WTMJ now after this.
WTMJ's Jeff Wagner.
Maybe, just maybe, these judges need to start learning that light sentences are not doing anybody a favor. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And in what I fully consider this to be a crime against mankind, you will find pumpkin spiced beer. Pumpkin and beer, to me, you can have pumpkin pie and wash it down with a beer, but pumpkin spiced beer, I'm sorry, I'm not down with that. Yeah.
Weekdays from noon to 3 on WTMJ.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi for Panoramic CBD. I'm a customer as well as a spokesperson. Whether you're looking to reduce anxiety, pain, depression, just a sore muscle, or just need to relax, Panoramic CBD has the best products for everyone's needs. They farm, process, test, and package. That's important. They do all of that for their own CBD products, hence the slogan, from soil to oil. By overseeing every stage of the process, Panoramic CBD eliminates the middleman, ensuring unmatched quality throughout to offer you the best CBD products at the best prices for you, not just you, also your pets. Find out. Shop local. Shop Wisconsin. From soil to oil, panoramicCBD.com.
This is Brad Youngblood with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. There's a lot of fluff around window sales, but what really matters is the type of people you choose to have working for you. That's why I want to highlight Semper Fi's own CJ Callies. He's been selling, measuring, installing, and managing window installations for 35 plus years. He has a depth of knowledge that allows him to see problems before they happen, and I swear, I think the guy can see behind walls. He's easy to work with, and I can't think of a customer who hasn't liked working with him, and he really is the kind of guy you're going to want on your job. CJ's in charge of our entire window and door division, and you can be assured he's going to have his hands on your project. Most companies focus on the product. At Semper Fi, we focus on our people and you, and that's never let us down. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, call Semper Fi, because you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
Keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
This is a year of change for Wisconsin football. Whether it's a new quarterback or coach, our teams will be exciting to watch this season. As Wisconsin's 3PL, Evans Transportation knows a thing or two about changing things up when it comes to manufacturers' accounting, shipping, and tracking needs. Call Evans if your supply chain team isn't running on all cylinders this season. Good luck to our Wisconsin football teams from Wisconsin's 3PL in Delafield. Find them at evanstrans.com. That's evanstrans.com.
It's WTMJ Now.
Lori says from Final Access she would have got all of them right. Lori Lori and others are loyal listeners. I get that all the time. Oh, I would have got all 5 right. But the pressure, the moments live on the radio that gets to people. I don't know if it does or not, but there's only been 3. And if you're one of those people, we got to get those lunches done. I keep thinking about that, and I know I've been gone a little bit. We got to get those lunches done. Because if you get 5, you get to have lunch with me on the show. I saw this story. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, but I've got a couple questions. Here's the headline. Journal-Sentinel, the local paper of record. Story written by Lori Schulte. Here's the headline. New bill would permit backyard chickens in every Wisconsin community. Okay, so a couple questions here. Why? Why do we need this? And I'm not against chickens. I'm not against people, raising chickens for their own eggs or their own chicken. The bill, which is being circulated for co-sponsorship, looking for co-sponsors, would require, not ask, not beg, require local governments to allow the keeping of up to 4 chickens, get this, geese, ducks, quail, or guinea fowl by property owners. The bill notes that permits can be required, as can neighbor notifications, a ban on roosters, and specifications on where housing for the birds can be kept on the property. How about this specification? How about not on small lots in a very tiny neighborhood? Why is this a good thing? I get if you have like a lot of property, if you've got an acre or 2, want to raise some chickens. This isn't 1900, people. You can go buy eggs. Last time I checked, they're like $1 a dozen now. Again, nothing against people who have chickens. And certainly we don't want roosters in the neighborhood because that's a lot of noise early in the morning. But you're expanding it to like geese. There's already too many geese. You been on a golf course lately? Been to a public park lately? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, Madison, Milwaukee, Wausau apparently already has rules about this. Wausau's chicken ordinance, that's what they call it, was passed in 2017. Lots of debates, including some of the council members asking, I love this question. This is unabashed Wisconsin, asking if approving chickens meant residents would soon have cows in their yards next. Well, if it's 1900, they probably would. Look, I'm all about the grow your own food. I had a large garden up until this year. I'll have a new greenhouse next year. I get it. But I have no desire to subject myself, my wife, or my neighbors to my chickens. We already have enough problems with dogs barking. Anybody think that's not going to be a challenge when you have chickens or geese located across the yard from a home with 2, 3, or 4 dogs? Does somebody not think these things through? Where's the research? Where is the thought process? Now, there's a piece of this that I do like. It gives Wisconsinites the right to have a garden in their backyard. That should be a thing already. That I got no problem with, because gardens don't run around and squawk. Gardens don't, all over the place. They don't run around like maniacs, because here's the other dirty little secret. No matter what you've designed, what pen, what enclosure, you're going to bring more pests into the neighborhood. You're going to bring foxes into the neighborhood. And these things always get out, which leads to catastrophic consequences 9 times out of 10 for the ducks, geese, quail, guinea fowl, or any other bird with feathers. Am I an outlier on this? I don't think so. One of these sponsors, Shay Sortwell, doesn't have chickens himself, but he does have geese, and he's raised ducks and fowl in the past. He says this: it's a bill that says you have the basic human right to raise your own food, and we want to make sure people across Wisconsin actually have that right. Again, not in opposition to that, in the right circumstances. Not in a small neighborhood with 1/3 acre or smaller lots where everybody's on top of each other, when their dogs and the humans can't even get along. 855-616-1620. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Take a break here. Your thoughts after this.
WTMJ Now. Craig Counsell's time as the Brewers manager has come to an end. Good luck to Craig and his new Wait, where did he go? Really? There? Of all places. Oh, what a season it's gonna be. Keep it tuned here for all the breaking Brewers news, including who will be the new manager. And yes, when we will play those pesky Northsiders. We are the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Pain relief and gimmicks. The two seem to go hand in hand. And it really is a shame, because when you're living with chronic pain, you're vulnerable. And that's why so many people get tricked into buying unproven treatments. At Rejuvenex, we understand how you suffer, how you wait to get out of bed because you know the pain is coming. Chronic pain from osteoarthritis is a terrible thing. And that's why we use our proprietary, powerful, FDA-approved treatments to precisely target your affected areas, to provide cushion and lubrication that helps deliver long-lasting pain relief in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. I'm Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics. We're in-network with most major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life. It's pain relief, really.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first. And then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Green Day present the Saviors Tour. Live in Milwaukee.
Welcome to
American Family Field, Saturday, August 24th. Celebrating 30 years of Dookie and 20 years of American Idiot. Green Day with the Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Linda Lindas. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Green Day, the Saviors Tour, fueled by Monster Energy.
WTMJ Now.
Not just a chicken in every pot, but a chicken in every backyard across this great state of Wisconsin. I say that's too much. You've gone too far. Shay Sortwell and others who are calling for this. Paul joins us from Delafield. Hi, Paul.
Hey, Steve. Appreciate the show. Thanks for dealing with topics like this. The reality is dogs are just as loud as chickens. They poop everywhere. I think it's kind of racist against chickens to, say, hey, we're going to ban you. Aren't we all about equality for animals?
Wow, you put me right in the racist category on the chicken thing. Man, that's tough love, Paul.
No, it just hit me. Dogs bark all the time. They make a mess. They run after the other dogs and stuff like that. I would argue chickens are, other than the rooster crowing, what do you say, crowing in the morning?
So. Cawing? I don't know.
It's a little bit of crowing in the morning, and then he's off to the races. On to the day.
Let's play it out, though. So when I agree with the dogs already, they bark too much for my liking. But let's add chickens and geese to the equation. Anyone think dogs will bark less, given that scenario, when they're in everybody's backyard?
I mean, there might come a point where the chickens are more valuable to us than the dogs.
Pet chickens?
So maybe... Well, if you got to put food on the table or whatever.
Yeah, I get that part. Thanks for the call, Paul. Look, I'm not a chicken racist, if there is such a term. I like chicken. I had chicken last night, or yesterday. What did I have last night? Yeah, chicken last night. Chicken enchiladas. Delicious. As a food choice, absolutely. I just don't want to be surrounded, as I am by dogs, with now extra things. And everything that goes with that. Mice. Coyotes, fox. I could have done a whole Steve Ruled the World on this. Maybe I will. Steve, you are wrong. This is from the 414. A dozen eggs is around $3 these days, not $1. Shop harder. I just heard somebody told me last week they were $1. Maybe you're not being a good consumer. From the 414, Steve, get used to it. New cultures mean new wants if they live like they want to. If your neighborhood has not changed yet, it will become interspersed at some point. Try driving around a bit more and see changes in lifestyles that are visible. I'm a guy that embraces change. I love change. I just don't like this change. Because in a close proximity, all of these kinds of ideas, as somebody who used to deal with the fallout of fence issues, dog issues, neighbor issues, trust me on this. This won't go well. From Joe B., $1.49, dozen eggs. Yes, Joe, thank you for that validation. West Dallas. From the 414, what about HOAs? I can't imagine most would allow chickens. Nor should they. 414. Also from the 414, my thought about chickens is if people are raising for food, are we going to have to see, hear, know when they are being killed? Yes, the slaughter of chickens in your own backyard or your neighbor's backyard. Is that what we're going to be subject to now? The destruction of a chicken? Ken from Greenfield, a coworker I had chickens for a while and instantly attracted rats in Bayview. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Mice and rats taking over. Are we going to defend mice and rats now? Is that a good thing for a neighborhood? Are we going to have rat barbecues? Feed the homeless? Is that too far? Probably. Randy says this. Even my 10-year-old listening with me just said, Steve, you're wrong. Chickens don't make noise. Kids make more noise than chickens, and they don't get out of pens. I don't know about that. I've seen many stories about chickens running wild in the streets of not only this state, but other states. And again, you're missing the point. It's adding one more animal or animals, because there's chickens, geese. I say absolutely not on geese, by the way. They do make noise. To the mix of everybody, just about everybody having multiple dogs who, because of bad ownership, can't control the behavior of their dogs, because people are bad pet owners for the most part, even though they love pets, they say. That's not a good scenario for a happy neighborhood. From the 414. Oh, sure, let's feed the coyotes, Eric says. My neighborhood has enough problem with stray cats. Yes. Randy says this, chickens eat ticks. Different Randy. Marilyn from New Berlin. My next door neighbor has chickens, no rooster. They do free roam at times when she's outside, but she has them yard trained. Really not a problem. Was shocked when the pen went up a few years ago. Would not be my choice. Probably good for the fence business, I would imagine. Steve, who's going to monitor the chicken count? 1 leads to 5 to 6 and more. Yes. The answer, nobody. Just like the knuckleheads who say, oh, you're only going to have 2 dogs in a community or 3 dogs. And then someone has 4. Just skirting the rules, not getting them licensed. Here's a little tip for local leaders. If you actually enforced your license policy and actually enforced when people lose their dogs or they're picked up and you bring them back, if they're not licensed, charge the folks twice. License and a penalty for not having your dog licensed. It's a nice little fundraiser for communities. Stop letting your dogs run wild, people. I feel like this has been an impromptu version of That's What Steve Said. All right. Leanne from Racine, last word. They are illegal here in the city of Racine. A lady behind us has several. Yes, they are loud, and yes, they attract rodents. It's awful. Real life, real time, real news. Leanne and Racine, thank you for that. That's the reality. Just like all you people with these multiple bird feeders, you're magnifying the rodent problem in communities. You don't think the mice eat the bird seed when it falls to the ground? Absolutely. Mice everywhere. Not a good problem. So I say just say no to chickens in every backyard. Do not co-sponsor that bill that Shay Sortwell is putting forward. Quick break here on WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this.
Set your independence in motion. It starts with PACE at Community Care. The program of all-inclusive care for the elderly, also known as PACE, offers complete medical and long-term care services. A team of dedicated healthcare professionals coordinates all aspects of care to support independent living as long as possible. Learn more about a community that cares. Visit joinpacewi.com or call 833-900-PACE. That's joinpacewi.com or call 833-900-PACE.
If you can't get a good night's sleep, let me ask you, are you breathing well? Because if you're snoring or waking up each night with a stuffed up nose or frustrated with your CPAP mask, the root of your sleep problem lies in your breathing triangle. And if any one of those passages isn't working, you won't sleep well. And there's no mattress, pill, or other gimmick that can fix that. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. A recipe for a good night's sleep starts with an open airway. Now, there are devices that can help solve snoring or sleep apnea problems. If you walk into a sleep center, know you'll walk out with a CPAP. And you might find other options elsewhere. But the simple truth is, if your nose doesn't work properly, no device will help. Only at Advent will you find every effective snoring and sleep apnea solution, along with a world-class team that can get your nose working properly again.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Attention value hunters, save on new Black Friday Now deals this week at Fleet Farm. Enjoy 20% off select sizes of our chocolate candies. Get a Food Saver vacuum sealing system for just $69.99. Stay warm and cozy with Mega Warmer 10-packs, 2 for $10. And stock up on softwood fuel pellets, 2 bags for only $11. Save big on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
It's WTMJ Now.
Somebody chastised me earlier, said I called Tracy Wagner. She's filling in for Jeff Wagner. She's Tracy Johnson. I know her name. All right, so lots of great conversation about the chicken bill. No, just say no to that. Not every home has to have a chicken coop in their backyard. I get the idea. Certain settings, yes, but in a tight, small neighborhood, we already have dogs causing problems. You're going to add chickens and geese who are noisy and messy. One of the texters said, yeah, my neighbor has chickens. He spends all his time cleaning up you-know-what on his driveway from those chickens. Why doesn't the neighbor that has the chickens clean that up? That's my question. Just like dog owners, some of them, refuse to pick up their dog, you-know-what. All right, I saw this story. I like this idea. Here's the headline. From thehill.com, CDC adding flu and RSV surveillance at major U.S. airports. So hold your texts. It's for international travelers, so not domestic travelers. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, announced Monday public-private partnership to serve as an early warning detection system at U.S. airports for COVID-19 variants. That was something that happened last year. Now they're looking at a new partnership for additional pathogens, viruses, flu, at select U.S. airports. Kennedy International in New York, San Francisco, Logan, Boston, Dulles Airport, Dallas-Fort Worth. So you might ask, why are they doing this? Because it gives the experts, and I say that on purpose because, as you know, the CDC has been bashed. I have to bring that back to, maybe if not tomorrow, Monday, I'll bring back my list of things that we don't trust in this country anymore, which is like 100 things long. I probably haven't updated in half a year. Things we can't trust anymore because some politician or some party said, oh, no, we can't trust them anymore, which is silly and stupid. And one of those agencies is the CDC. So this kind of started during the pandemic, trying to track those new variants of the SARS COVID virus. And since they've done this, they've gotten more than 360,000 volunteers covering flights from 135 countries, kind of seeing where the threats are when it comes to these illnesses. I'll say again, I like the idea. because this is a forward-thinking way of looking at it. Does that mean we're going to do it domestically? Probably not. It's going to slow traffic down, and people ultimately just have to get to their destination. But somebody coming into this country, there's no obligation, from my point of view, that we have to make their experience easy or fast getting into our country. We should take our time. Who's coming in? What are they bringing with them? And especially when we're talking about, in some cases, deadly or easy to spread viruses or illnesses. No problem. And having an early warning system like this with volunteers at the moment, I think is a good way to look at it. So for all those people that are denying the importance of agencies like the CDC and other governmental agencies because they don't like them or they don't like the fact that they told them to wear a mask for a while, this is smart. And again, I will separate international versus domestic. I'm not saying it should be domestic at this moment. But international travelers, again, no expectation that we have to make the process easy or easier. I want to know who's coming in. And I think that understanding, that information can ultimately make us all safer. Correct? I think so. All right, we'll take a break. WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this.
Right now, the prices of diamonds are probably the lowest we'll see in our lifetime.
Diamond prices are low, low, low. Here's why.
It was hard to meet new people during COVID.
When a person meets their soulmate, they usually get engaged about 39 months later.
People started dating again only about 36 months ago.
Most of the people who got engaged during COVID
or immediately after COVID
were already in a relationship before the COVID lockdown began.
The Wall Street Journal even published a story about all of this.
Low sales of engagement rings created a worldwide oversupply of diamonds.
But now, engagement ring sales are beginning to pick up again.
By the end of next spring, this temporary oversupply will be gone.
And diamond prices will start climbing like crazy.
If you ever wanted to own a big diamond, this is the year to do it.
Find the Kesslers nearest you
and see our extended holiday hours
at KesslersDiamonds.com.
If you want to own a big diamond, the time is now.
Get ready, Wisconsin. It's Medicare annual enrollment period, so why not make enrolling easier with United Healthcare? Whether you choose our online tools or over-the-phone support, United Healthcare will help you compare options so you can choose a plan with confidence. This is Medicare made for Wisconsin. Trusted everywhere. Explore our wide range of plans by calling United Healthcare today at 1-855-MEET-UHC. That's 1-855-MEET-UHC. Annual enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th, so call today.
Is your home drafty and cold in the winter? Retrofoam of Southeastern Wisconsin will fill your walls, lower your heating and cooling bills, and give you an airtight seal with their foam insulation. It's all done from the exterior of your home without any hassle or mess. Retrofoam offers a lifetime no-cost warranty with a property protection guarantee. They take pride in their customer service, treating all customers like family. Get 0% financing for 5 years if you call and mention WTMJ. Call today at 262-234-FOAM. That's 262-234-FOAM.
If you want a fiduciary guiding your financial plan that will treat your assets as if they were their own, go to FinancialStrategiesInc.com.
Financial strategies, what's the way to build your wealth?
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent it over the edge.
Chad tried traditional treatments with no improvement when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue in your hips, shoulders, back, and knees, providing long-lasting relief.
Now I'm back at the gym. I'm 100%, feeling great.
If you're tired of suffering with pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
WTMJ Now.
One last look at the show poll today. The third Republican presidential debate was held last night in Miami. Who do you think won the night? And I had some fun with it. I didn't just put the names down of the people who were on stage. I could have done that easily. I gave it the others. Donald Trump, 22%. China, Russia, Iran, we got mentioned a lot. Probably more than Donald Trump did. 16%. The other TV networks, 44.7%, the clear winner of today's show poll. And a lot of comments. A lot of Nikki Haley love. Some people took me seriously. Chris Christie got some love. Abortion was the big winner last night. Regardless of what you thought about it, it has to shrink. Republicans, too many candidates. Ramaswamy, see ya. Chris Christie, love your energy. Love your Trump info. Maybe next time. Nope. Tim Scott, nope. Haley, DeSantis, head-to-head next time. That's a debate people will watch. Who is the last person standing to go up against Donald Trump? Then it gets interesting, given all the things swirling around Donald Trump. All right, quick sports thing. I don't do a lot of sports. Giannis gets kicked out of the game last night against the Detroit Pistons at Fiserv Forum, apparently for mean mugging. And I coined this phrase last night, and I'm going to stick with this. I want to see the end of performative officiating in the Major League Baseball ranks, the NBA, and the NFL. Enough. I don't want to know about you. I don't want to know your name. I don't want to hear your yap open as much as it does, especially in the NFL. I don't want to have other officials telling me why you made that call or why you screwed up that call. I don't want any of it. I want the game to be played. I want you to be a non-factor. I want you to be in the background. I got nothing against officials. I know a lot of them. But this is insane. Enough. You think LeBron gets kicked out of that game last night if he's making a face? No. What is with this Giannis hate? He's one of the nicest people in sports. Why would you hate Giannis? My goodness. And thankfully, didn't cost them a game last night because it could have. They were down at one point in the fourth quarter. They came back to win it by a couple points. Lillard was on fire. They get 18 points in the fourth quarter. Enough with the performative officiating. We're good. Make the calls and then shut the hell up. Actually, make the right calls and then shut the hell up. My mother's swear jar is going to be loaded with cash this week. For some odd reason. Maybe it's the Vegas. Maybe it's because I was in Sin City last week, and maybe that's it. You should hear me away from the show. Just kidding. All right, after the break, she is in for Jeff Wagner. She is Tracy Johnson. Not Tracy Wagner, Tracy Johnson. And I know she watched the debate last night, because I watched it. I know she has comments. We'll see what her comments are, because I had a lot of comments, as did you. Good job, all of you, for participating in the program today. Hey, by the way, tomorrow, Makasha and Zapecki, boy, do they have some things to talk about in politics. Political Power Hour. Still unsponsored. Who out there thinks that show should be unsponsored? Not this guy. Boy, you talk about a golden opportunity. The Willy Wonka of sponsorships. Political Power Hour on Friday. Goodness. Make it happen. All right. After the break, the one, the only, the fill-in for, if anyone ever can fill in for, Jeff Wagner, Tracy Johnson, after this.
More of WTMJ now after this.
WTMJ's Jeff Wagner.
Maybe, just maybe, these judges need to start learning that light sentences are not doing anybody a favor. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And in what I fully consider this to be a crime against mankind, you will find pumpkin spiced beer. Pumpkin and beer, to me, you can have pumpkin pie and wash it down with a beer, but pumpkin spiced beer, I'm sorry, I'm not down with that. Yeah.
Weekdays from noon to 3 on WTMJ.
Your love isn't confined to an advent calendar. It doesn't stop when the Christmas lights come down. With the Salvation Army, your love lasts all year long. It puts a present under someone's tree today and a roof over someone's head tomorrow. It brightens Christmas morning and the hardest nights for hardworking families. Together, we can love beyond Christmas. Donate today to support local families all year long at samilwaukee.org.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Greg Scalzo for Smart Spaces. How can Smart Spaces transform your business?